with you. We need the one and only you. A journey like no other awaits you with the Wolfpack. Each special moment, one day at a time. Come write your story at St. Ignatius College Prep.
Sports Broadcast Solutions is a broadcasting network for everyone. At SBS, we offer a professional broadcasting experience for the non-professional athlete. Just like the pros, we offer everything for you. Play-by-play commentary.
A no-hitter at Kane County Stadium. 15 strikeouts, 1 walk, 1 error, and that's it.
Color commentary, highlight reels, recruiting videos, and much, much more. Unlike our competitors, we zoom in on the action and always have a live scoreboard with a live time code. If you're ready to have your next sporting event feel like CBS Sports, then make sure to call Sports Broadcast Solutions today. Our phone number is 330-957-7653, or you can go online to sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. SBS, a broadcasting network for everyone.
Sports Broadcast Solutions is a broadcasting network for everyone. Let SBS broadcast your sporting event. We have experience and can generate excitement and permanent digital memories for your team.
Tonight. That time, finally a goal for the Stampede!
We have professional videographers using high-definition modern-day cameras, color analysts, and play-by-play announcers with state-of-the-art, classy graphical scoreboards to keep you updated. Plus, we have commercials to advertise your team, club, or sponsor, and us. Plus, we do pregame and postgame interviews.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to the postgame show brought to you by Marion Central Catholic. My name's Kyle Smith, but my name doesn't matter. These young ladies matter. It's senior night as the Hurricanes win a battle down the stretch, 48-46.
Hi, I'm Carrie Kramer. I swim 50 breast, 50 free, and 100 back.
Whatever your sports broadcast needs, we are at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. Check us out and become part of the digital sporting world.
Hey guys, how's it going? I just wanted to try something new. I know we've done a lot of cool videos with should the White Sox trade for Mike Trout and what should the Bears do with Justin Fields in Week 1. And we like what Flemlo Raps does, but sometimes he doesn't do the athletes that I want to see. So I thought I would answer the question, what happened to David Garrard? And here goes.
It's never easy to play the quarterback position at the NFL level. Couple that with being abnormally large for the position and dealing with Crohn's disease, and you have the very underrated career of David Garrard. What makes Garrard's college and NFL career so interesting is nothing came easy for him. He seemed to be a tight end who was actually playing QB. Remember, he was around 240 pounds when he stepped on East Carolina University's campus, but as we later found out, there simply wasn't anything that Garrard couldn't do. The only issue was his ball placement and accuracy, but I'm getting ahead of myself. When looking at the career of Garrard, you always think of 2 words, never quit. Garrard wasn't the fastest, and he certainly looked too big to play QB. The former Jaguars quarterback sometimes reminded me of Jared Lorenzen, but when the Jacksonville Jaguars needed a big play, Garrard would give you that Cinderella moment, coming out of nowhere and then getting the job done. And although his career probably wasn't as good as Mark Brunell's, he still is one of the all-time greatest Jaguar players. The Jacksonville Jaguars YouTube account lists Garrard as number 23 all-time as a Jaguar player, and I disagree with that. He should be much higher on that list, especially since he didn't always have the most talent around him. But let's not delay any further. As Flemlo Raps would say, this is what happened to David Garrard. Garrard began playing football at around 8 years old, and to no surprise to many people watching this video, many of his coaches didn't see his future at quarterback. When Garrard attended Neal Middle School in Durham, North Carolina, his coaches instead put him at fullback. He was so big that he was basically the Mike Allstott of middle school football. as he pretty much carried the opposing defenders down the field. And according to Garrard, he didn't mind playing fullback. "I was happy with the arrangement because I got the majority of the carries," said Garrard. "I never even thought about playing quarterback." In fact, it was his pre-teen and early teenage year teammates who actually vouched for him to play quarterback. To test his ability to effectively play the position, his coaches would line up a handful of players 15 yards away from Garrard and tell him to zip the ball to them. After easily completing the passes, the coaches told him to put even more oomph on his throws, and according to Garrard's ego, he quote-unquote lit it up on his next several passes. And from that moment on, he was a future NFL quarterback. But Garrard playing the QB position still came with its set of drawbacks. Garrard entered the NFL when Donovan McNabb and Michael Vick were just getting their feet wet as a black quarterback in the NFL. And for people who weren't born in the early 2000s, it was very much a stereotype that coaches and GMs would stay away from drafting African American quarterbacks. In essence, drafting a black quarterback came with its controversies. Remember when Eagles fans booed at the Donovan McNabb draft selection? It's obviously dumb to point out a purely racism problem since Randall Cunningham, Dante Culpepper, Vic McNabb, and others all got their shot at QB, but black quarterbacks were still very much a small number in the NFL when Garrard was a rookie. But being an African-American quarterback was not the reason why teams didn't draft him. Rather, it was a variety of factors. First of all, being from a mid-major school certainly didn't help David Garrard's draft stock. Interestingly enough, Garrard actually played against Byron Leftwich during their college years. Their lone matchup was an amazing college football bowl game where Leftwich's Marshall team somehow came back down by 30 points and defeated Garrard's East Carolina squad 64-61 in double overtime. This memorable GMAC Bowl game was a preview of both quarterbacks playing together on the Jacksonville Jaguars, where Garrard would get the last laugh by taking away Leftwich's QB job. Garrard got the nickname the Beer Truck when he played at East Carolina University, and the name definitely suits him due to his enormous stature. He explains why he got that nickname.
Coach Logan, he said, "You know what, you run down the field and people get out of the way like a beer truck that's out of control." And I ran with it.
Secondly, while Garrard's East Carolina Pirates were very competitive during his time in Greenville, North Carolina, they still weren't a dominant squad. This is important to note because one of the reasons why mid-major quarterbacks like Zach Wilson can rise on the draft board is because their team was undefeated for most of the season. The old adage, "You are what your record says you are," can sometimes define how valuable your quarterback play is to the team's overall success. In layman's terms, Wilson's undefeated BYU squad, until their loss to Coastal Carolina, proved to some NFL draft scouts that he's the real deal at QB. Garrard, you might ask? His best season at East Carolina was 9-3, which included ECU defeating the number 13 ranked Miami Hurricanes that season. A very good record at 9-3, but it was still a far cry from Alex Smith's undefeated season when he played quarterback at the University of Utah. Regardless of the reason why Garrard fell in the draft, the Jaguars took a chance on him in the 4th round, and they were rewarded with a fairly decent quarterback. Despite being diagnosed with Crohn's disease in January of 2004, the former ECU Pirate ended up getting honored for the 2009 Pro Bowl, won a playoff game, and even finished with just over 16,000 passing yards in his career. If you're not familiar with Crohn's disease, here's the SparkNotes summary of the illness. Crohn's is an inflammatory bowel disease that causes inflammation of the person's digestive tract. This disease can lead to abdominal pain, severe diarrhea, fatigue, weight loss, and malnutrition. While not usually life-threatening, this IBD can lead to kidney stones, inflammation of the liver, and inflammation of the eyes. To sum up, it certainly isn't easy playing the hardest position of the 4 major American sports and being malnutritious, aka having Crohn's disease. Thankfully for Garrard, Crohn's was very treatable in 2004 and is even more treatable today. The way to generally treat Crohn's is with immunosuppressants and steroids, although surgery might be required on a case-by-case basis. And that was the unfortunate case for Garrard, as he had to have surgery in June of 2004 to remove almost 12 inches of his intestines. Despite that intensive surgery, Garrard ended up staying in the National Football League until 2003, and he did more than just stay in the NFL. He showed why he earned the starting job from head coach Jack Del Rio. In the entire history of the Jaguars, only 3 quarterbacks have won a playoff game, Brunell, Garrard, and Blake Bortles. It's not the most impressive list of QBs, but it's still obvious that Garrard had a much better NFL career than his former teammate in Leftwich. Garrard flourished best when Del Rio allowed him to best utilize his dual-threat mentality. While his numbers aren't very flashy, Garrard gave Jacksonville stability at the position once they had to move on from Mark Brunell. Even with his so-so passing numbers, Garrard still led the NFL in third down passer rating during the 2007 season. His 2007 Jaguars advanced to the divisional round, where they had to face off against the 16-0 New England Patriots. We all know how that game turned out, as the Patriots wouldn't lose a single game that season until Super Bowl 42. But as good as Garrard was, he just wasn't consistent enough to stay in the league. His QB rating never went above 81, and his last 3 years were very mediocre. His 2008 season, his third to last one in the NFL, saw him throw just 15 touchdown passes to 13 interceptions. His passer rating finished just underneath 60. His 2009 season was even worse, with a QB rating of 54.4, and although he showed flashes of greatness in 2010, his 23 TD passes to 15 interceptions proved to the Jags it was time to draft the future in Blaine Gabbert. Gabbert turned out to be a bust, but it also turned out that the Jags still made the right decision in cutting Garrard. The beer truck's engine seemed to die out once he arrived in Miami. He had arthroscopic knee surgery during the 2012 training camp, and the Dolphins were forced to release him due to injury problems on September 4th. In a span of 3 years, from 2010 to 2013, Garrard suffered multiple knee injuries, as well as undergoing surgery on his herniated disc. He attempted a comeback with the New York Jets in 2013, but that inevitably fell through as he suffered through complications with knee swelling. He retired as a Jaguar in March of 2015. So what happened to Garrard?
Welcome to the post-game show, pregame show, brought to you by St. Ignatius College Prep. Got ahead of myself. I'm Kyle Smith, and my name doesn't matter. This young man matters. Mateo Jones for St. Ignatius College Prep. They are 5-0. That's not a misprint, everybody. They are 5-0, looking to go 6-0 tonight against De La Salle Institute. Mateo, you know what happened last week. Yep. Now all the eyes are on you. There was no pressure last week. Beat Mount Carmel for the first time in 93 years. Now you're 5-0. Do you feel a little pressure, or do you embrace it and want to go 6-0 tonight?
Well, I mean, we've had pressure because we were the first team to go 4-0. So we've had pressure all year, but we don't crack. You know, we're a strong team. Everyone's band of brothers. We don't really care about the press, the media, everyone talking about us beating Carmel and all that. So we'll see.
What did that mean to you, Mike Wilbon, going on, pardon the interruption, talking about St. Ignatius beating Mount Carmel 27-0?
It was pretty cool to see me on ESPN, talking about my team, game I played in. Pretty cool.
So big game you guys had, not just offensively, but defensively. St. Ignatius won 27-0 over a 4-0 Mount Carmel team. You play defense. What was so crucial on the defensive end to stop the spread attack from Mount Carmel, and what are you going to do to stop the running game tonight from De La Salle?
Well, we all knew our jobs. We came in prepared. I think we were the better prepared team. We knew what we had to do, and we did it. Everyone did their job. It wasn't one guy doing everything. It was everyone doing what they needed to do every time.
So obviously, 5-0. I'm not going to say undefeated season. I don't want to jinx you guys. Do you think about that at all, or just about winning that state championship?
All I'm thinking about is beating De La Salle right now. That's all I have to think about.
Keys to victory tonight.
Do our jobs, stay disciplined, play our football.
One man, one tackle?
Oh, no. 11 has the ball every play. Every play.
11 guys on one guy to make sure that tackle happens.
Every time.
All right, Mateo, good luck tonight.
Thank you.
That's Mateo Jones. We're taking a break. You're watching the pregame show brought to you by the St. Ignatius College Prep Athletics Department. Just mute that. We're good.
Oh, that's it. Do I need to transition?
We just mute the mic.
Oh, okay.
And then...
Sports Broadcast Solutions is a broadcasting network for everyone. We broadcast sporting events for people of all ages, including adult leagues, high school leagues, and kids. Complete with professional-looking graphics, broadcasters, color analysis, and commercials. We do pre- and post-game interviews with the players. In addition, Sports Broadcast Solutions does highlight films, including college recruiting reels, highlight films you'd see on sports news programs, and just simply highlight films for fun. Sports Broadcast Solutions also provides raw footage and live streams if you'd like. Subscribe to us and listen to our professional talk videos about relevant topics in the pro and college ranks. Whatever your sports broadcast needs, contact us at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com and become part of the digital world. Sports Broadcast Solutions is a broadcasting network for everyone. For those of you who would like to broadcast or live stream your event, or maybe make a highlight tape but would like a sponsor to fund the event, SBS has a myriad of ways to advertise your sponsor during our broadcasts. We have commercials, We have on-air reads by the announcers.
Albatross Physical Therapy and Wellness specializes in pain-free.
We have graphics, and we have watermarks. Finally, Sports Broadcast Solutions can create a commercial for you or your sponsor. Whatever your sports broadcast needs, we are at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. Check us out and become part of the digital sporting world. Sports Broadcast Solutions is a broadcasting network for everyone. Let SBS broadcast your sporting event. We have experience and can generate excitement and permanent digital memories for your team.
Tonight. That time, finally a goal for the Stampede!
We have professional videographers using high-definition modern-day cameras, color analysts, and play-by-play announcers with state-of-the-art, classy graphical scoreboards to keep you updated. Plus, we have commercials to advertise your team, club, or sponsor, and us. Plus, we do pregame and postgame interviews.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to the postgame show brought to you by Marion Central Catholic. My name's Kyle Smith, but my name doesn't matter. These young ladies matter. It's senior night as the Hurricanes win a battle down the stretch, 48-46.
Hi, I'm Carrie Kramer. I swim 50 breast, 50 free, and 100 back.
Whatever your sports broadcast needs, we are at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. Check us out and become part of the digital sporting world.
4 years at St. Ignatius College Prep means 720 days of walking into a cornerstone of Chicago's history, engaging with over 1,450 students from all over the city and state. If you were to imagine those 4 years by combining all the individual moments into days lived, what can it boil down to?
Time spent riding public transportation adds up to 30 days, moving outside your comfort zone, expanding your horizons.
You'll devote a sum of 78 days to competing on the track, field, court, on the ice, or in the pool. 8 days cheering on the Wolfpack, becoming part of something larger than yourself.
37 days singing and dancing on stage, finding your passion, uncovering new ones.
Navigating international diplomacies with Model UN for 48 days.
51 days working through complex proofs and equations in the Math Resource Center.
Celebrating our Catholic Jesuit tradition for 16 days at Mass in Holy Family Church.
25 days hypothesizing and testing in labs.
Participating in community service for 17 days. Living our mission as a woman or man for and with others.
32 days spent studying in the library. Okay, and maybe a few sleeping.
95 days of homework, learning vocabulary, developing presentations, preparing for tests, becoming a lifelong learner.
Waiting in line for a panini for 5 days.
10 days spent on the couches in formation and ministry, growing in faith and kinship.
Looking to the future with college counseling for 8 days, all the while supported through the journey.
And hopefully, 0 days in jug.
For so many, so much more, every single day spent as part of a community, a family, a network of friendships that extends far beyond 4 years. Every single day rooted in values to drive each day forward.
150 years of tradition stands at 1076 West Roosevelt Road. How will we write the next chapter in school history?
With you. We need the one and only you. A journey like no other awaits you with the Wolfpack. Each special moment, one day at a time. Come write your story at St. Ignatius College Prep.
Hey guys, how's it going? I just wanted to try something new. I know we've done a lot of cool videos with should the White Sox trade for Mike Trout and what should the Bears do with Justin Fields in Week 1. And we like what Flemlo Raps does, but sometimes he doesn't do the athletes that I want to see. So I thought I would answer the question, what happened to David Garrard? And here goes.
It's never easy to play the quarterback position at the NFL level. Couple that with being abnormally large for the position and dealing with Crohn's disease, and you have the very underrated career of David Garrard. What makes Garrard's college and NFL career so interesting is nothing came easy for him. He seemed to be a tight end who was actually playing QB. Remember, he was around 240 pounds when he stepped on East Carolina University's campus, but as we later found out, there simply wasn't anything that Garrard couldn't do. The only issue was his ball placement and accuracy, but I'm getting ahead of myself. When looking at the career of Garrard, you always think of two words: never quit. Garrard wasn't the fastest, and he certainly looked too big to play QB. The former Jaguars quarterback sometimes reminded me of Jared Lorenzen, but when the Jacksonville Jaguars needed a big play, Garrard would give you that Cinderella moment, coming out of nowhere and then getting the job done. And although his career probably wasn't as good as Mark Brunell's, he still is one of the all-time greatest Jaguar players. The Jacksonville Jaguars YouTube account lists Garrard as number 23 all-time as a Jaguar player, and I disagree with that. He should be much higher on that list, especially since he didn't always have the most talent around him. But let's not delay any further. As Flemlo Raps would say, this is what happened to David Garrard. Garrard began playing football at around 8 years old. And to no surprise to many people watching this video, many of his coaches didn't see his future at quarterback. When Garrard attended Neal Middle School in Durham, North Carolina, his coaches instead put him at fullback. He was so big that he was basically the Mike Allstott of middle school football, as he pretty much carried the opposing defenders down the field. And according to Garrard, he didn't mind playing fullback. I was happy with the arrangement because I got the majority of the carries, said Garrard. I never even thought about playing quarterback. In fact, it was his preteen and early teenager teammates who actually vouched for him to play quarterback. To test his ability to effectively play the position, his coaches would line up a handful of players 15 yards away from Garrard and tell him to zip the ball to them. After easily completing the passes, the coaches told him to put even more oomph on his throws, and according to Garrard's ego, he quote-unquote lit it up on his next several passes. And from that moment on, he was a future NFL quarterback. But Garrard playing the QB position still came with its set of drawbacks. Garrard entered the NFL when Donovan McNabb and Michael Vick were just getting their feet wet as a black quarterback in the NFL. And for people who weren't born in the early 2000s, it was very much a stereotype that coaches and GMs would stay away from drafting African American quarterbacks. In essence, drafting a black quarterback came with its controversies. Remember when Eagles fans booed at the Donovan McNabb draft selection? It's obviously dumb to point out a purely racism problem since Randall Cunningham, Dante Culpepper, Vic McNabb, and others all got their shot at QB, but black quarterbacks were still very much a small number in the NFL when Garrard was a rookie. But being an African-American quarterback was not the reason why teams didn't draft him. Rather, it was a variety of factors. First of all, being from a mid-major school certainly didn't help David Garrard's draft stock. Interestingly enough, Garrard actually played against Byron Leftwich during their college years. Their lone matchup was an amazing college football bowl game where Leftwich's Marshall team somehow came back down by 30 points and defeated Garrard's East Carolina squad 64-61 in double overtime. This memorable GMAC Bowl game was a preview of both quarterbacks playing together on the Jacksonville Jaguars, where Garrard would get the last laugh by taking away Leftwich's QB job. Garrard got the nickname the Beer Truck when he played at East Carolina University, and the name definitely suits him due to his enormous stature. He explains why he got that nickname.
Coach Logan, he said, you know what, you run down the field and people get out of the way like a beer truck that's out of control. And I ran with it.
Secondly, while Garrard's East Carolina Pirates were very competitive during his time in Greenville, North Carolina, they still weren't a dominant squad. This is important to know because one of the reasons why mid-major quarterbacks like Zach Wilson can rise on the draft board is because their team was undefeated for most of the season. The old adage, you are what your record says you are, can sometimes define how valuable your quarterback play is to the team's overall success. In layman's terms, Wilson's undefeated BYU squad, until their loss to Coastal Carolina, proved to some NFL draft scouts that he's the real deal at QB. Garrard, you might ask? His best season at East Carolina was 9-3, which included ECU defeating the number 13-ranked Miami Hurricanes that season. A very good record at 9-3, but it was still a far cry from Alex Smith's undefeated season when he played quarterback at the University of Utah. Regardless of the reason why Garrard fell in the draft, the Jaguars took a chance on him in the 4th round. and they were rewarded with a fairly decent quarterback. Despite being diagnosed with Crohn's disease in January of 2004, the former ECU Pirate ended up getting honored for the 2009 Pro Bowl, won a playoff game, and even finished with just over 16,000 passing yards in his career. If you're not familiar with Crohn's disease, here's the SparkNotes summary of the illness. Crohn's is an inflammatory bowel disease that causes inflammation of the person's digestive tract. This disease can lead to abdominal pain, severe diarrhea, fatigue, weight loss, and malnutrition. While not usually life-threatening, this IBD can lead to kidney stones, inflammation of the liver, and inflammation of the eyes. To sum up, it certainly isn't easy playing the hardest position of the 4 major American sports and being malnutritious, aka having Crohn's disease. Thankfully for Gerard, Crohn's was very treatable in 2004 and is even more treatable today. The way to generally treat Crohn's is with immunosuppressants and steroids, although surgery might be required on a case-by-case basis. And that was the unfortunate case for Gerard, as he had to have surgery in June of 2004 to remove almost 12 inches of his intestines. Despite that intensive surgery, Gerard ended up staying in the National Football League until 2003, and he did more than just stay in the NFL. He showed why he earned the starting job from head coach Jack Del Rio. In the entire history of the Jaguars, only 3 quarterbacks have won a playoff game, Brunell, Gerard, and Blake Bortles. It's not the most impressive list of QBs, but it's still obvious that Gerard had a much better NFL career than his former teammate in Leftwich. Gerard flourished best when Del Rio allowed him to best utilize his dual-threat mentality. While his numbers aren't very flashy, Gerard gave Jacksonville stability at the position once they had to move on from Mark Brunell. Even with his so-so passing numbers, Gerard still led the NFL in third down passer rating during the 2007 season. His 2007 Jaguars advanced to the divisional round, where they had to face off against the 16-0 New England Patriots. We all know how that game turned out, as the Patriots wouldn't lose a single game that season until Super Bowl 42. But as good as Gerard was, he just wasn't consistent enough to stay in the league. His QB rating never went above 81, and his last 3 years were very mediocre. His 2008 season, his third to last one in the NFL, saw him throw just 15 touchdown passes to 13 interceptions. His passer rating finished just underneath 60. His 2009 season was even worse, with a QB rating of 54.4, and although he showed flashes of greatness in 2010, his 23 TD passes to 15 interceptions proved to the Jags it was time to draft the future in Blaine Gabbert. Gabbert turned out to be a bust, but it also turned out that the Jags still made the right decision in cutting Gerard. The beer truck's engine seemed to die out once he arrived in Miami. He had arthroscopic knee surgery during the 2012 training camp, and the Dolphins were forced to release him due to injury problems on September 4th. In a span of 3 years, from 2010 to 2013, Gerard suffered multiple knee injuries, as well as undergoing surgery on his herniated disc. He attempted a comeback with the New York Jets in 2013, but that inevitably fell through as he suffered through complications with knee swelling. He retired as a Jaguar in March of 2015. So what happened to Gerard? Well, he outplayed his original draft position, but he showed at times why he lacked the arm talent and decision-making to become a star in professional football. His passes lacked touch at times, and he sometimes forced the ball in unnecessary tight windows. However, Gerard's life has been anything but unsuccessful. He's currently a spokesman for 121 Financial Credit Union, and he's a role model for kids at the Painted Turtle Camp. The Painted Turtle Camp is specifically made for kids having to endure the issues of living with Crohn's disease. Gerard never became as good as Mark Brunell, but he was certainly a better QB than Leftwich and Bortles. But most importantly, Gerard overcame the problems of Crohn's disease and being slightly big for the position. The beer truck might never become the next coming of Big Ben, but I don't think that Gerard has any regrets about his NFL career. And that's it for today. Make sure to comment below if you liked the video and subscribe to our channel.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another production of Sports Broadcast Solutions. I'm Kyle Smith, alongside my friend and color commentator Tim McKinney for the St. Ignatius Wolfpack against De La Salle. It's the Chicago Catholic League. here at Fornelli Field. The Wolfpack are looking to go 6-0, but Tim, they got a lot more in their mind than an undefeated record, a state championship possibly, if they can keep taking care of business like they did last week.
They can and do have aspirations to go deep into the playoffs, but before you do that, you have to take care of business tonight against De La Salle. You cannot overlook this game. You had a big emotional win last week against Mount Carmel. If you're St. Ignatius, you have to come out ready to go with the same mentality they had against the Caravan last week, and they can't afford to have a letdown this evening against De La Salle.
Absolutely, and De La Salle is not that bad, Tim. They're 2-3. The problem is, after they played the Chicago Public League schools, once they got to the CCL, not so good, especially their games against Brother Rice and Fenwick.
Yeah, they start off with 2 wins. They beat Agricultural Sciences and Curie very easily in their first 2 games, but then reality struck in. Joliet Catholic, 48-14. Fenwick, 49-0, and then at halftime they were down 44-0 to Brother Rice, but they did get a pair of touchdowns in the second half, so maybe some of that momentum playing better in the second half against Brother Rice may help them today. But I think the start's important for them. They have to take care of the football. Obviously, you're going to know that triple option threat for St. Ignatius is going to be tough for them to defend. However, I think they need to get some turnovers, and they got to have a little luck go their way if they want to stay in this ball game, Kyle.
Absolutely, and for De La Salle, don't get too overconfident with the passing game, but you got to be able to pass the football, get the seeds of doubt in the St. Ignatius triple option, because if you can put points on that board, get an early 7-0 lead, if they win the toss, it can get St. Ignatius a little out of their element.
Well, I think if you're De La Salle, you have to come in here with house of money. You have to play like you have nothing to lose. Maybe they might do a couple things, some trick plays, try some different things here tonight. They're the underdog. They know it. Come out, bring the whole kitchen sink. Very excited to see what they may bring and how St. Ignatius is going to answer it here tonight.
If you're De La Salle, do you do mix and match between run and pass, or do you try to pass that football and see if St. Ignatius can
Well, I think it's going to depend on who gets the football here first, but if they can get the field position that would favor them, take some strikes downfield, take a couple of chances, but however, it's going to be their offensive front. Can they hold up? Because we're going to see a lot of two-way players for both teams, but we've seen St. Ignatius excel more in that compared to what De La Salle has had to this year. So holding up at the line of scrimmage is going to be very important here tonight, especially playing on an unseasonably warm night here the first night of October.
Absolutely. It's a warm night. St. Ignatius looking to go to 6-0. De La Salle trying to improve to 3-3 to maintain playoff position. A win by St. Ignatius tonight would most likely put them into the playoffs, especially with that tiebreaker win against Mount Carmel. But like we've said, we're going to continue to say, Tim, their eyes are on more than just finishing the year 9-0 and going into the playoffs.
They are, but I know if you're the coaching staff and Coach Miller, you're telling your team take it one game at a time. There's been a lot of media attention this week to the Wolfpack after that win over Mount Carmel. So there's been a lot of buzz, a lot of excitement on campus this week. But now you have to settle in reality, focus on playing this football game and winning tonight. I would imagine Coach Miller is stressing one play at a time, one possession at a time, and in the end, the results will speak for themselves.
A little bit of the P.J. Fleck mentality. We're always trying to go 1-0 every week.
That's right. That's right. I think so. I just don't think you don't want to get too big-headed. I know they're excited. The fans are out. The crowds have been bigger each and every week out here, but you still have to focus on the prize at hand, and that's this immediate game here tonight.
And I know it's St. Viator's next week, but you can't worry about next week. Got to win tonight, go 6-0, and think about St. Viator next week.
Because I think teams are going to look at how they respond tonight, Kyle. Obviously, the eyes are on them after that win last week. So now how do they answer? That's why I think tonight, I know we talked about maybe getting off to a good start for De La Salle, but I think St. Ignatius getting off to a good start is just as important to build off the momentum they had off of last week's win.
And just to make sure if there's any hope for De La Salle, you want to get rid of it right away, go up 7-0, and just try to get them to come back with their passing attack.
Yeah, I think so. Key for them is to get off to a good start and also hang on to the football. They're going to need to win the turnover battle if they're going to have a chance to pull off the upset.
We saw some fumbles last week against Mount Carmel. We'll see if St. Ignatius can be better with the football tonight. So that does it for our pregame festivities. Coming up next, the play-by-play broadcast. You're watching De La Salle against St. Ignatius here on Sports Broadcast Solution.
Bob Hanson.
Sports Broadcast Solutions is a broadcasting network for everyone. We broadcast sporting events for people of all ages, including adult leagues, high school leagues, and kids. Complete with professional-looking graphics, broadcasters, color analysis, and commercials. We do pre- and post-game interviews with the players. In addition, Sports Broadcast Solutions does highlight films, including college recruiting reels, highlight films you'd see on sports news programs, and just simply highlight films for fun. Sports Broadcast Solutions also provides raw footage and live streams if you'd like. Subscribe to us and listen to our professional talk videos about relevant topics in the pro and college ranks. Whatever your sports broadcast needs, contact us at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com and become part of the digital world. Sports Broadcast Solutions is a broadcasting network for everyone. For those of you that just want raw footage of your sporting event, but no play-by-play or color commentary, you just need us to live stream video from the event over the internet. We will live stream your event on YouTube on our Sports Broadcast Solutions channel. In addition, we also have a dedicated channel on YouTube for live streaming at SBS Livestream. And if you need multiple channels, we can utilize Facebook Livestream and Instagram Live on our channel as well. Options include commercials from your sponsors, professional scoreboard graphics are still available, and of course, yes, pre- and post-game interviews are available as an option if you want.
We've been working really hard this whole summer and stuff.
Whatever your sports broadcast needs, we are at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. Check us out and become part of the digital sporting world.
Good evening, fans, and once again, welcome to Fornelli Field. At this time, we ask all visitors to pause their activities and please rise as we join Father Brian Tabor in tonight's opening invocation. As we begin tonight, let us begin in prayer. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, amen. Heavenly Father, as these young men prepare to compete on this field, we ask that you fill their hearts with your strength and with your courage. May they utilize well all the talents with which you have endowed them. May they play fully and well with their heart in every moment of the game. We thank you for all those who have helped prepare them, for all who have believed in them. And we ask you to draw us together tonight in the spirit of healthy competition. And we make this prayer through Christ our Lord. Amen. St. Ignatius. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Please remain on your feet. Tonight, our special guest, the lead of the play Emma, Jane Fairfax, and lead cantor of the St. Ignatius Choir, Senior Miss Elena McGill, to sing our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Miss Elena McGill, Father Brian Tabor, thank you.
Well, if that doesn't pump you up for tonight's game, nothing will. That's a young lady that's going places. St. Ignatius, we talked about it. We'll keep talking about it. All the eyes are on them now, including Mr. Wilbon from ESPN, his alma mater. Adam Hogue's alma mater from NBC Sports Chicago. But look, you got to erase all that. Got to do the PJ Fleck mentality. We're going to go undefeated every week. Last week, it matters, but it really doesn't. It's time to go 1-0 this week and then move on to St. Viator.
Yeah, as I mentioned, it's that one game at a time mentality, Kyle. You just can't fall asleep this evening against De La Salle and take this game for granted. A lot of excitement, a lot of buzz this week after the victory over Mount Carmel, but now it's time to get down to business and win a football game.
So regardless of the opening toss, St. Ignatius will get the ball. So they'll have the possession arrow on your screen. Kicking off for De La Salle. Be their place kicker, Angel Najera from Jorge Prieto Math and Science. Deep for the Wolfpack, of course, Vinny Rugai, and also Harrison Berlin.
Of course, for many who don't know, Kyle, De La Salle located on the near south side, near Guaranteed Rate Field, home of the White Sox.
Little line drive kick, and it's picked up by St. Ignatius, and he'll be hit almost immediately just outside the 15.
Malloy on the return.
11:54 remaining in the game.
On the stop.
Good way to start for De La Salle, Tim. They only got a couple of yards on the opening kick, did St. Ignatius.
Well, field position's going to be very important for them.
Their own 20-yard line.
So ball on the 20, 1st and 10. And St. Ignatius is going to roll with the triple option all night long until De La Salle can stop it, and even then they'll do it on passing plays with the play action. Taking the snaps, of course, Jake Petro from Immaculate Conception, St. Joseph. This fans at St. Ignatius are very excited. A run right on the A-gap, gets a couple, and De La Salle there to greet him in a late hit. De La Salle's pumped up, Tim, a little late hit right after the tackle.
Number 2, Coleman on the stop. A gain of 5.
Coleman on the stop, 2nd and 5.
25.
As the Wolfpack have it at their own 25.
Well, you thought there may have been a late hit, but the officials didn't call it.
Run onto the edge, and a great job. Cronin on the handoff.
On the carry. Montgomery on the tackle.
Actually, it's Malloy on the carry. Cronin was on blocking, and it's a 1st and 10 for Ignatius with 11:14 to go.
Good for a Wolfpack. 1st down.
Ball at the 35. It's going to be a long night for De La Salle if they can't stop it, but a lot easier said than done when it comes to the triple option. A run right up the gut, fullback dive, only gets a couple. Good stop by De La Salle.
A gain of 2.
But they're attacking. They're attacking.
Down by 31.
Not a single pass attempt yet.
2nd and 8 from the Wolfpack, 37.
Almost a false start against the Wolfpack. St. Ignatius is going to take their time. They want to make sure they're in rhythm. They want to score and put the seeds of doubt into the minds of De La Salle. Run up the middle by Rugai. One man to beat. And finally brought down by De La Salle's Jaden Williams.
27,
but not before Vinny Rugai gets over 30 yards on the carry.
Boy, that was a huge run, a burst of speed up ahead as he got by that second line of defense.
20-yard line.
1st and 10 at the 20, and De La Salle looked pretty good on defense the first couple of carries from St. Ignatius, but maybe a lack of communication from the D tackle. Vinny Rugai had a lot of space up the A-gap.
Well, all it takes is just one big play, and the Wolfpack just picked it up, and now they're in business here in the red zone.
Petro to Rugai. Going to get about 5 yards when forward progress is finally going to be stopped. He was tackled at the 16, but forward progress should be at the 15.
Carry, a gain of 4.
Yeah, I don't like the spot there. They're going to say forward progress stopped at the 16, but St. Ignatius will move on from it, try to get 6 more yards for the first.
2nd and 6. from the Meteor 16.
Do you consider blitzing on this down, Tim?
Well, they're not showing it. They're coming from the edge, but they go right under middle there.
Like we've said before, this De La Salle team is not that bad. I know that they got beat pretty handily by Fenwick and Brother Rice, but those are some pretty darn good football teams. Fenwick almost went to the state championship 4 years ago, so.
But their defensive front held up right there and took care of that run play very nicely.
And 6.
They brought the pressure from the edge, and the Wolfpack tried to go straight up the gut, but De La Salle wasn't fooled.
This is exactly what De La Salle wants. Third down, make them think about passing. They didn't have to pass it at all last week.
Well, this is when, if I'm St. Ignatius, I think about maybe spreading the ball out a little bit, see if they can use the legs of the quarterback to create.
Petro on the keeper.
Not too sure about that play call, but if you feel confident with your offense, in the red zone, 4th and 3, I think you got no choice but to go for it. You got a great kicker, Tim, but the way this offense has looked the last couple of weeks, you just got to pound it in there for the first down.
Well, I think you're aggressive here. You go for it. You put the pressure on the defense of De La Salle to make a stop here.
De La Salle has only given up one big play on this drive. Would love to get a stop on 4th and 2 offside. Oh, they missed it. Oh, man.
Yeah, the defense just got set back in time because there was some movement on the front.
I thought his hand was across the line of scrimmage. I might have been wrong then. Petro, handoff. It's going to be close, but they got it.
Yeah, he has it.
In the carry. A gain of 3.
Got to give credit, though, to the Meteor defensive tackles partner. They're doing a good job getting low and tackling most of the time on those A-gap runs. For De La Salle, you got to play your opponent, and you got to force Petro to pitch it outside and have the pursuit come to make the tackle. Petro was shaken up a little bit last week, but went back into the game. McDonough more than capable of playing if he has to. Quarterback keeper, it's going to be a face mask against the Wolfpack.
Petro on the keeper.
And they missed that one.
No gain.
Woo! Tim, it sure looked like he got the face mask.
On the stop.
But a good job once again by De La Salle up front to contain that play. They've had their moments here, but again, the one big run.
2nd and goal from the Meteor 9-yard line.
Rugai has been the difference in this drive.
Yeah, Vinny Rugai, younger brother of Leo. Leo used to be quarterback for the Wolfpack. And this might work well for De La Salle that St. Ignatius has taken their time. Give their offense more than enough time to get set once they get the ball back. Quarterback keeper, touchdown, Petro.
Touchdown, Wolfpack.
Well, they scored, Tim, but I think that was pretty good defense by the Meteors to kind of hold them in the red zone after that big gain by Rugai.
Well, that's what I thought they would run on the 4th down play, to run the quarterback, roll him out left, go option, spread it out, let him use his legs, and that was a very well-executed play for 6 points and an excellent opening drive for the Wolfpack.
Well, the Meteors didn't want to give up 6, but they did. Now they got to answer on offense. Not the best snap in the world, but a beautiful kick by Pasteri, and that's where we stand right now. 7-0 early on in the first quarter. You're watching a production of SBS, a broadcasting network for everyone.
Sam Basteri's extra point is good. Wolfpack leads 7-0.
Sports Broadcast Solutions is a broadcasting network for everyone. Let SBS broadcast your sporting event. We have experience and can generate excitement and permanent digital memories for your team.
Tonight. That time, finally a goal for the Stampede.
We have professional videographers using high-definition modern-day cameras, color analysts, and play-by-play announcers with state-of-the-art.
Petro run.
Kickoff coming up for St. Ignatius. Besteri on the kick, high flying kick. And it's going to be brought back at the 5-yard line. No choice but to pick it up by Jamie Davis. And he's going to be brought down just shy of the 10 at the 12-yard line.
One, Jamie Davis on the return.
Well, De La Salle knew it was going to be a tough game, but they battled hard on defense. They could have easily given up a touchdown right when the ball got in the end zone. They got him to 4th down. St. Ignatius converted, then got the QB sneak touchdown. The story of this game was going to be this De La Salle passing offense. Let's see how they can answer on this drive.
I don't like where they're at right now, Kyle. The field position to be inside their own 20 right now. Not the place to start from your own 12, being down 7-0 to start this game. We'll see how they can attack it, but I think they're going to have to get at least one first down on this drive to get them in some good shape here in this game.
De La Salle trying to get to 500. Little quarterback rollout, bad throw. Almost picked off. It was a couple of yards away from being picked off by Henry Helms.
Intended for Thornton, incomplete.
I like the play call, though. This is the one thing that St. Ignatius can be attacked is their secondary, but you got to throw a little bit better pass than that on 1st and 10. 6:12 remaining in the game. Clock stops, of course, on the incomplete pass. All you're looking for is a 3rd and manageable. And run what you've been running all week in practice, regardless of what the defense shows you. Quarterback keeper, he's got room to run. Breaks through a tackle, 1st and 10 coming up for De La Salle.
A gain of 8.
Ray Coffey, the quarterback. Pretty good size for the position, 5'10", 185 pounds.
3rd and a yard.
And they're going to say
21.
He did not get forward progress. These officials, man, once you're tackled.
But also you have to remember, once that the quarterback gives himself up, that's when the play is going to get called dead to protect the quarterback. Low snap.
So they're running a lot of Wildcat tonight. Coffey. And he gets a 1st and 10 past the 30-yard line.
On the keeper. Good for a Meteor first down. Rushed out of bounds by 21, Mike Gladden.
And for St. Ignatius, that's all right. You just got to find a way to get the ball back.
10 Meteors.
Even if you give up 3,
own 35.
You're at home. You got the home crowd behind you. Only thing you can't do is give up 6. So just find a way to get the ball back without giving up 6 points. Shotgun formation. They're going to run a lot of Wildcat tonight. This time a handoff on the shotgun. He gets a couple as Julian Thomas doing a good job breaking through some tackles.
A gain of 3.
2nd and 8 coming up.
Mateo Jones on the stop.
So if you're De La Salle, Tim, do you want to go hurry up or do you want to kind of go?
No, you want to take your time. I think right now this is an excellent start to this drive. They picked up a 1st down. They got out of that deep hole. They're in good field position right now. Very encouraging start for this drive for De La Salle.
If you're on offense, can't think about your defense. Just got to do your own thing, find a way to get 6. Rolling outside the pocket. Great job there by Coffey to break through a tackle. And he'll be driven out of bounds. Clock will run.
Rushed out of bounds by number 20, Alex Deach.
Deach on the tackle.
Just short of the 1st down.
Coffey looks good in that Wildcat. St. Ignatius might have to consider blitzing.
44.
Right now it's 3rd and 1. What do you think? 4 down territory if you don't get it?
Absolutely. I think they have to go for it. You have nothing to lose in this game, but I liked how this Wildcat has looked here with Coffey. He's been able to find some open field and get loose a little bit here.
Another Wildcat. Cleggs will go in motion at the wide receiver position. Good push up front. More than enough for the 1st. And that's just a great job from Coffey to turn his back and let the offensive lineman drive him forward.
I just like how decisive he was. He knew where he was going to go, found that hole and attacked it, and got the 1st down.
Trust is a must, or your game is a bust. You can't worry about what the offensive line do. You just got to know your assignment and trust that they're going to make the block. Obviously, you got to have vision, too, if it's not there. But on 3rd and 1, a short yardage play, you just got to trust your line. That's what he did there, and they got the 1st down.
And that was a great push by the left-hand side of that line for the Meteors there to get enough surge for them to pick up that 1st down and keep the chains going and this drive alive.
Another shotgun, possibly a Wildcat. Some movement up front, no offside. As it's to Thomas. Fumble! Ball's loose. Could go to either team. Wait for the call from the linesman.
Thomas on the run.
St. Ignatius football.
Wow.
Vinny Rugai.
Well, there you go. Rugai got the recovery there, Kyle, but as we talked about in the opening, turnovers would be very important in this game, and a promising drive for De La Salle. They work hard, get the ball in Wolfpack territory, and they cough it up.
What's the most ideal drive, Tim? Probably 7 plays or more. The more plays you have, the more chance you can fumble the football. Still, you got to control it better with handling the football, but a fumble against the Meteors and a chance for St. Ignatius to go up 10-0 or even 14-0.
Could be a big moment early in this game.
Handoff, fakes the handoff, play action, and he was outside the tackle box. Close, no wide receiver in the area, but he was outside the tackle box. I like the no call on.
And now a flag comes in late.
They're going to talk about it. Liam thinks it's intentional grounding. Liam's our videographer on the night. I can see that, Tim. It didn't look like there was a wide receiver there.
Well, they are going to call it, and that's the reason, because the other issue is, Kyle, he also has to get the ball to the line of scrimmage.
Yep.
So the officials also could say that the pass did not make it to the line of scrimmage because he was fading back on that throw with the pressure coming on him.
That's a huge break for the Meteors because it's lost a down. That makes it 2nd and 20. If the Wolfpack want to go 6-0, Tim, they're going to have to earn it because the Meteors, especially on offense, look good tonight. There's no such thing as an easy win in football. The Wolfpack are up 7-0, but the Meteors have looked good in the first quarter. If they hadn't fumbled that football, they had a chance to get it deep into St. Ignatius area.
And that's also a loss of down as well.
Yep, 2nd and 20. One thing you can't have, St. Ignatius, obviously, is a turnover. You want the first down, obviously, but don't panic. A little run up the gut. That time they give it over to Jake Lowe. All right. You're the offensive coordinator for the Wolfpack, Tim. You want to be conservative, run the ball and punt, or you want to try to go for the first?
I think you play the field position game, maybe
Jake
run.
on the carry.
I know they run more of an option, but if they could, run a draw, try and get as many yards as you can. Punt the ball away, leave it up to your defense to get back to work.
The other thing about high school, if you don't run a lot of shotgun, because you really don't in the triple option, you're always worried if that snap is going to be over the quarterback's head.
Yeah, so I think they may try a quick inside handoff here. Maybe see if Ruge can break one once more like he did in the first possession.
They're going to pass. Takes his time. He's got a man, a fly route. Oh, Jess overshot him. As he was trying to find Tommy Bloss.
Ball's incomplete.
Well, I was wrong. I thought they would go conservative, and they were quite aggressive on that play.
I don't mind it, though.
Bloss had his man beat right there, Kyle, but just a little too much air on the football.
Number 2, Henry Helms.
And I'll give credit where credit is due. That was good over-the-top coverage by De La Salle. It had to be the perfect spot for Bloss. It wasn't.
Yeah, that's timing. That's all timing on that pass route right there. It was a well-designed play, a well-ran route, but the ball was just slightly overthrown. Timing just wasn't quite there.
Good punt, high-arching kick. And they're going to say poison, De La Salle players. Ball's going to trickle past the 20. Out of bounds. You like that decision by Coffey to not go after it?
Helms punt
play the field position game.
The Meteor 19.
Now you have them back inside the 20. Let your defense go to work, even though De La Salle had a good first drive. The turnover spoiled it. Good chance for the defense to try and bounce back here, not let them get some first downs like they did in possession number 1.
Text line is open tonight, by the way. You can text your favorite high school football memory to 330-957-7653. 1st and 10 at the 19, 2:19 to go. Meteors have a fumble. Only score of the game was a QB keeper by Petro as they'll switch formations back to the Wildcat. St. Ignatius almost went offside. Coffey taking his time. Now a handoff to Thomas, nothing there.
Thomas on the carry.
2nd and long coming up for the Meteors. 2nd and 9 at the 20 of the Meteors.
Stopped by number 60, Jack Burns.
Now it's time for the Meteors to decide, do they trust their pass protection, or do you want to try to make it 3rd and manageable on a wildcat or an option play? whatever you do for the Meteors, you got to find a way to get a first down, try to win that field position battle again.
Exactly, because the field got flipped after the turnover.
2nd and 9, one in the backfield, one in the slot. Man in motion. That time it was to Richko.
Face mask. I believe there's going to be a face mask.
Tackled behind the line of scrimmage.
Flag on the play.
De La Salle coaching staff think it's a face mask. They're going to talk it over. Flag on the field.
Yeah, I think that was pretty obvious from our vantage point, Kyle. But we'll hear and we'll wait see what Jeremy Mansilla has to say.
Yep. Face mask against the defense. I don't mind the call, but I think they might have missed one earlier.
Well, the defender did rip his arm around, that jerky motion around the face mask. It was pretty obvious from up here, and I think clearly the right call.
And you got to be careful, too.
15 yards
for all of you that don't remember, the famous Aaron Rodgers Hail Mary play against the Lions, they called a face mask, and it actually wasn't. So you got to make sure that he's tugging at the face mask and not the jersey. It's a tougher call than it looks. Shotgun formation, a little pitch over to Coffee, and the Wolfpack read it. But this Meteor team, man, they've been hitting the weight room. He gets a couple more yards after contact instead of it being a tackle for loss.
No gain.
But this is exactly what De La Salle wants going into the second quarter.
Tackle for loss by 99, Justin Scott.
A close game. Anybody's game right now.
They just have to take care of the football. That was such a promising opening drive for them. They're running the ball well. This Wildcat formation has been quite effective to keep St. Ignatius off balance defensively here early on.
De La Salle taking their time again. 4 wide receiver set, trips to the left. And a little screen pass, well read by the Wolfpack. And it's a huge tackle for loss. Leading the way is Torado.
Yeah, Toronto read that beautifully. They overload the left side there, Kyle. Hope to set that wide receiver screen. They had the others up ahead to be potential blockers, but Toronto was right there from the excellent open field tackle to end the first quarter.
And De La Salle will wisely talk it over and let the quarter end. So going into the second quarter, it's 7-0 Wolfpack here on Sports Broadcast Solutions.
16 from the Meteor, 20.
Sports Broadcast Solutions is a broadcasting network for everyone. Instead of spending hundreds or thousands with all these college recruiting sites, let us put together your college highlight reel. For just a fraction of your potential college scholarship and significantly less than these recruiting services, we got this. In addition, we put together highlight reels for teams, including high school, your club team, or travel team.
My teammate gave me a great pass, and I just took it. The other team slashed me, took the opportunity, saw where the goalie was weak, and I just shot it there.
Solon, O'Connor, and Marsh back on defense. And Marsh gets a blowout. We got a breakaway at 2-0. A shot, and it's goal! So 3-3. The power play was officially over.
Whatever your sports broadcast needs, check us out at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. Check us out and become part of the digital world.
Third and long coming up for the Meteors. Whatever you do.
16 for the Meteors from their own 26-yard line.
Cannot turn the ball over. You don't want to force a ball into a tight window. Shotgun formation, clean pocket. Oh, look at this, the hook and ladder. But the Wolfpack on the pursuit is there.
The hook and ladder.
You're talking about the trick plays, Tim. There it was.
Yeah, you have to bring everything out of the bag tonight when you're an underdog. And De La Salle is, but for St. Ignatius, they were not fooled.
Just excellent defense. Their feet were right at the first down marker. The only way they're going to get the first is if they break through your tackle. Their feet were at the first down marker, and they decided to tackle him once the ball was caught.
It's 4th and 8 from the Meteor.
And those are things you just prepare in practice, because I think Coach Miller and the staff had to expect some sort of trickery here tonight from De La Salle.
Little pooch punt. Nobody touched it. That's a live ball. And it's going to be picked up at the 39-yard line. That's just an excellent play call by the special teams of De La Salle. I wish that more high school teams would do that. because you just don't expect a pooch punt when the quarterback's in shotgun formation. It's just a great play call because you're too deep in your own end to try to go for it on 4th and 8.
Yeah, and also, too, with the shorter punt, you have upmen who are not used to handling the football, potentially maybe having to do so. Maybe it takes a funny bounce off the turf, hits a maroon jersey, and you might get a turnover.
St. Ignatius, good field position after the pooch punt by the Meteors. Meteors are right in this game, even if they give up 3. Meanwhile, a handoff right up the middle. Rugai not going to get much. The pursuit was there by the Meteors.
Rugai and a carry, a gain of 2.
They're just begging St. Ignatius to pass.
By 72, Gary
unless it's
Hancock.
3rd and long, at least what we've seen thus far, the Wolfpack are going to go with the same game plan they had last week.
Well, you got to go with how you got here. Why change at this point? Make the other team adjust to you.
They had Bloss open earlier in the game, but Petro couldn't get it to him.
I just think they still have to continue to pound the ball and attempt to wear De La Salle down as this game progresses. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon.
St. Ignatius, ball control important. Yeah, a false start coming up against Ignatius.
Oh, they're going to call it maybe a neutral zone infraction on the defense.
Flag on the play.
Nope. 52 for the Wolfpack.
Yeah, they move it back.
Jake.
They move it back.
Rothgerty was not ready to go.
I think the De La Salle coaches near us were a little uncertain.
The offense backs the Wolfpack up 5.
So what happened is Rothgerty was an eligible receiver, but he wasn't used to it looked like, and just couldn't get, in motion before the play.
It's 2nd and 13 from the Wolfpack 36-yard line.
And this is exactly the start De La Salle wanted. Obviously, they didn't want to give up the touchdown, but besides that fumble, they have been great on both sides of the ball. For De La Salle, all you got to do is keep it close and have St. Ignatius think about it. Get a little antsy into the 4th quarter. Quarterback keeper for Petro. And he breaks through a tackle. Gets a first down past midfield.
On the keeper.
And now the Wolfpack starting to look like the Wolfpack we saw the last couple of weeks.
For Wolfpack, first down.
I just liked how he lowered his shoulder, found that hole on the left side, and he just busted out of there for a big gain for the first down for the Wolfpack.
Got to get low on a guy as good as Petro.
Yeah, he was tough to bring down. They had a hard time bringing him down for certain. You're right about that.
It's a hot night. Conditioning is going to be a key. Which team is more conditioned?
Yeah, who would have thought it'd be 77 degrees on October the 1st?
He's coming back. Going to be a hold most likely against the Wolfpack. They had problems with that last week against Mount Carmel.
A gain of 6. There's a flag on the play.
The Meteors have been great at defensive end, getting off the point of attack to a tackle, especially those pitches to the outside. Pointing at the Wolfpack, and looks like a chop block against the Wolfpack.
That's a biggie, 15 yards.
Foul, illegal block against the Wolfpack.
That's a dangerous block, too. And quarterback for the Wolfpack, Petro, is going to have to leave for at least a play. McDonough coming in. We'll stick with the action. This happened last week. And look, a triple option, you expect your quarterback to get dinged, and you have to be ready for that in practice. And we've seen McDonough a lot this season. You're going to get beat up. Quarterback keepers, let's see how McDonough comes. The good news about the triple option, you don't always have to pass.
25 Wolfpack.
So you don't have to worry about him having a cold arm coming into the game. Ball at the 40-yard line. And it's a little jet sweep. He's got room to run. And a late tackle. Good job staying with the play by Tristan Haynes. Tommy Bloss on the jet sweep.
Hines on the stop.
Yeah, Hines had to grab a lot of jersey to bring him down on that play. And after a 1st and long, to get a big chunk of it back, very important for the Wolfpack, sets up a second and manageable situation.
This might be the best offensive line in the Chicago Catholic League. We saw it last week. They just ate Mount Carmel alive, over 300 yards rushing. How will the Meteors answer? It's still 2nd and 11, though. You need at least 5 yards to make it a manageable 3rd down.
Timeout from De La Salle.
De La Salle didn't like what they saw. Timeout called by the defensive coordinator. We'll take a timeout as well. You're watching the Wolfpack and the Meteors here on Sports Broadcast Solutions.
We have experience and can generate excitement and permanent digital memories for your team.
Tonight. That time, finally a goal for the Stampede.
We have professional videographers using high-definition modern-day cameras, color analysts, and play-by-play announcers with state-of-the-art Class C graphical scoreboards to keep you updated. Plus, we have commercials to advertise your team, club, or sponsor, and us. Plus, we do pregame and postgame interviews.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to the postgame show brought to you by Marion Central Catholic. My name's Kyle Smith, but my name doesn't matter. These young ladies matter. It's senior night as the Hurricanes win a battle down the stretch, 48-46.
Hi, I'm Carrie Kramer. I swim 50 breast.
St. Ignatius back on the field after that timeout. 2nd and 11. Man in motion. That time was Malloy.
Watch out!
A run up the gut to Malloy as he gets outside the tackles. One man to beat. He's tackled. Waiting for the signal. Touchdown, Wolfpack. Jack Malloy on the jet sweep. And a possible backbreaker for De La Salle on 2nd 11 after so many great tackles. And that time they just couldn't tackle on the jet sweep.
Malloy broke loose. Started as a simple inside handoff, Kyle. He found the opening, went around that right edge, and was off to the races, and a huge touchdown and a backbreaker for De La Salle.
Possibly a sigh of relief for head coach Matt Miller as things were getting a little tight, and there's a flag on the play.
And especially for that to happen after a timeout called by the defense of De La Salle.
Well, of all the plays on 2nd 11, I think a jet sweep is probably not what you're expecting with this triple option, but that's what makes a triple option so hard to defend. Another great kick by Bistari. What else is new? 14-0. The Meteors are still in it, but we'll see how they can adjust on their next possession here on SBS.
It's Wolfpack 14.
Sports Broadcast Solutions is a broadcasting network for everyone. For those of you who would like to broadcast or live stream your event, or maybe make a highlight tape but would like a sponsor to fund the event, SBS has a myriad of ways to advertise your sponsor during our broadcasts. We have commercials. We have on-air reads by the announcers.
Albatross Physical Therapy and Wellness specializes in pain-free.
We have graphics, and we have watermarks. Finally, Sports Broadcast Solutions can create a commercial for you or your sponsor. Whatever your sports broadcast needs, we are at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. Check us out and become part of the digital sporting world.
Bistari on the kick. De La Salle will get it back.
Bistari set the kick for the Wolfpack. Coffey and Davis back deep for the Meteors.
Trailing by 14 points. We'll see how De La Salle Institute can answer. High arching kick. It's going to go out of bounds. Huge break for the Meteors. And Coffey is such an intelligent player. Didn't even go after that ball. We saw it on the punt return.
Out of bounds.
He saw the punt was going way to the right of him, and that the pursuit was there on defense on the punt return. Coffey is a very good kick and punt return. He knows exactly when to go after the ball and when not to.
Tried the coffin corner kick, and
the Meteors begin their possession. First and 10.
And you do that to try and pin back the return man. You kick it just short enough to try and attempt the return team to make a return to pin them back, but that time it backfired. The kick went out of bounds, and De La Salle, their best starting field position from their own 35.
And just kind of a sigh of relief from the De La Salle bench. Even though they're down 14, they only have 65 yards to go to the end zone. Little run off the right guard. It's going to get a couple. On the carry that time is Jamie Davis.
Davis on the carry.
Not a lot of players on this team, so they play on both sides of the ball. Their backup is a freshman at quarterback.
2nd and 8.
If you're De La Salle, even though you're down 14-0, stick with your game plan. Don't panic. You still can utilize the run. Be patient. Use the run to try and sub the pass or the option if they go back Wildcat.
They've really only been beat because of the big plays. 2 big plays have led to scores, almost an interception. Tight coverage that time by Mike Gladden.
For Richco.
Gladden's got good size for the position, 6 foot even, 166 pounds. That's the problem, though, with De La Salle. They just have not been able to have good pass protection and then complete some passes.
Yeah, that's tough when you don't have enough time to throw the ball, number one, and then number two, when you do, you try and thread it in a tight window and was well defended by the Wolfpack. And now you face a 3rd down and 7 here, and now this is what you talked about, Kyle, the danger territory for De La Salle, the Meteors needing a 1st down to keep this drive alive if they're looking to hang around in this football game.
1 in the backfield, trips to our left, 1 to the right. Ignatius will probably bring the house here on the blitz. Now they go into zone coverage. Clean pocket, a fly route, and just very good coverage by the Wolfpack. Just really nowhere to throw that football. On the coverage was Alex Deach. I like the aggression, though. That time you just couldn't get the separation from your wide receiver.
Yeah. Well defended. No problem there with the play call. You have to take your shots when you can. You're at a good portion of the field, 37-yard line. Take a shot. Worst case is you may get a flag for pass interference, but again, well defended there by Deach, and now the punt unit comes out, forced to 4th down.
You would assume, but I don't know if you can give the ball back to the Wolfpack after how they looked on offense. It looked very similar to the Wolfpack offense we saw last week against the Caravan, but you're only down 14, and the Wolfpack called timeout. They didn't like what they saw.
Yeah, that alignment forced them to call a timeout there, Kyle. Wolfpack. They weren't certain if it was a punt or were they going to go for it or not, so they're going to talk things over.
We'll stick with the action. It's 4th and 7, 7:54 remaining in the game. Text line still open as I answer my phone right now. We got a couple of texts. Bob Vilsaway from Harper College is watching.
Yes, we know Bob very well.
And 312, can we find out what happened to Petro? We will do our best. No sideline reporter. He's all right, though. Talking over with the trainer. I think he's ready to go, Tim, if they need to. But McDonough's been so good as well that I don't think you need to put Petro back in until it becomes a passing situation.
Yeah, he's right in front of us. It appears to be maybe like a upper calf, kind of upper thigh that he's favoring as he's with the trainer right now, his right side. Looks like he's just shifting from left to right. His horizontal movement, they're probably testing that out to see how he feels, but we'll find out further if he's going to come back in the game.
They're going to go for it on 4th down. Batted away by the Wolfpack. Henry Helms was there on the defense. In hindsight, you say, why do you go for it? But I think after what happened to the Caravan defense last week, I think De La Salle wanted the 1st down to keep the drive going, to possibly get 7 before halftime, and that time it just didn't work out.
They are at a spot of the field that they could go for it. Maybe the coaching staff thought, why risk a short punt if they're going to get the ball anyway at maybe their own 35? What's the difference of about 20 more yards of starting field?
And you got to remember, you got a backup quarterback in there. McDonough's good, but he hasn't taken as many snaps as Petro. You force the young quarterback to make some plays. Another run out. Look at that move, cutting back inside. I'm not going to make the comp to Barry Sanders, but that was great vision by the young man.
He almost did a little slight hurdle or high step move right there up the sideline. Very nicely done.
All right, you're the DC for the Meteors. Do you bring the house and try to force that young quarterback into a tight window?
You can, but again, he may have the ability just to take it outside and scamper off again.
1st and 10 coming up for the Wolfpack.
But you do have the safety valves as well. You got 3, as you see. They got the full house set there, Kyle.
McDonough taking the snaps. Petro still injured. Little run off the right tackle. He still hasn't been tackled. And close to the first down marker.
Gain is 7.
Malloy was the ball carrier. 2nd and 3 coming up. And for the Wolfpack, ball possession is key. You have a great kicker in Bez Terry. Yeah, you want to make it 21-0. But look, 17-0 is still a 3-possession game. Whatever you do, just don't fumble the football.
2nd and 3 from the Meteor 15.
For the Meteors, you got to start thinking one guy tackles, the other guy tries to punch that ball out. Tackle off the left guard. Didn't get much. Possibly lost a yard. Pursuit was there by the Meteors. 3rd and short coming up.
Real guy on the carry.
They've shown at times, Kyle, to get some good surge up the middle and stuff some of those runs up the middle tonight for St. Ignatius, have the Meteors defensively. But again, we have a 3rd down. They're in a good spot of the field. They have a lot of options in the playbook here offensively. You can pass, you can run. We'll see what they do here on 3rd down.
Do you trust in the sophomore at QB? I formation. Off the left tackle, one man to beat, and it's going to be a touchdown for the Wolfpack. Tommy Bloss scores.
Touchdown Wolfpack.
And the hopes are dwindling for the De La Salle faithful. They went for it on 4th and 7, didn't get it, and the Wolfpack do what they've been doing all season long, pounding it down your throat and scoring touchdowns.
And once again, when they get past that first line,
extra point.
Because they were playing up the middle, there was no safety on the outside, and it was just a walk-in touchdown for Bloss.
Extra point is good. That'll make it 21-0 Wolfpack. You're watching the Meteors against SICP here on SBF.
5:58 left in the half. Wolfpack 21, Meteor 0.
Running clock, easy. You think they should have gone for it? I think they should have.
Sports broadcasts.
You guys said, you got to try something, you know.
Or thousands with all these college recruiting sites. Let us put together your college highlight reel. For just a fraction of your potential college scholarship and significantly less than these recruiting services, we got this. In addition, we put together highlight reels for teams, including high school, your club team, or travel team.
My teammate gave me a great pass, and I just took it. The other team slashed me, took the opportunity, saw where the goalie was weak, and I just shot it there.
Stolen. O'Connor and Marsh back on defense, and Marsh gets a blowout. We got a breakaway at 2-0. A shot, and let's go!
$21-0 Wolfpack. De La Salle's in trouble. But look, there's a lot of teams that have been in trouble against the St. Ignatius team. I think we're starting to realize how good Marmion is. They were up 16-0 on the Wolfpack. Meanwhile, kick return by De La Salle. It's a good one. Beats a man. Spin move and a beauty. Still on his feet. Finally, Richco is brought down.
Richco on the return.
Flag on the field.
On the stop. There's a flag on the play.
It's a late flag, so you would assume that it's on the defense. Usually an early flag is a hold against the return team.
Unless there was a late illegal block. But we'll find out from Mr. Mancilla.
That's just a killer if it's a block in the back. He didn't need it.
Yes. And it was probably away from the play. I think it came late, just seeing it from up here. And those are just lethal penalties if you're De La Salle. That was an excellent return. And then you get a penalty like that at the tail end of the play.
1st and 10 from their own 24.
This game isn't over yet, though. You can't score 21 points all at once, right? But what you can do is you can get some first downs. And even if you don't score, give your defense some breathing room to reevaluate how they can stop this triple option.
Because I think you're going to have to at least take a good chunk of this time off the clock to ensure that St. Ignatius doesn't have enough time to do something before halftime.
Shotgun formation, one in the backfield. Off the Wildcat, breaks a tackle, dives for the first down. Coffey's going to be a couple of yards short. Injured player for the Wolfpack. That's going to be Mateo Jones, who we had in the pregame show.
6.
And Matt Miller saw it right away. A substitution coming into the game. That's going to be 29, not on our roster. So
2nd and 4 from the Meteor 30-yard line.
29, hope you're having a good game. We don't know who you are, but
maybe they'll call the text line and let us know who he is.
Text line's open. If you know 29 is 330-957-7653. That carry didn't really have much of a chance from the get-go.
No.
Wolfpack are right there on the pursuit. Finishing the tackle was Mike Gladden.
They did give him a gain of 1, but it was stuffed immediately, as you said. But now here you go again, Kyle. A critical third down for De La Salle. Move the sticks, keep this clock moving. A must pick up for them, or, as you talked about, they give the ball up again. They're going to be really in a whole lot of trouble giving St. Ignatius the ball one more time before halftime.
Yeah, but I just don't know if you can put your defense in that bad spot again. When you were at the 40, I could understand it. Right now you're at the 31. I think you just got to trust in your defense to get a stop, punt the ball back. Well, we'll see what they can do on this down. Third down, clean pocket, throws it out to the right, beat a man, but just only got a half step on the defender. And it's creating these really tight windows for the QB and Matthew Claggs. And sometimes these QBs at St. Rita, Mount Carmel can make those throws. De La Salle sometimes, but they're just not known for that in their game.
Well, that was Deitch again on the coverage on Coffee there. The ball was thrown to the inside, and that was a good job there by Deitch to cut off Coffee so he wouldn't be able to break in to try to even make an attempt to catch the ball.
Down and 3. From the Meteor 31.
I can understand why they're going for it, but this really is the game because if St. Ignatius can stop them, I feel like they're going to score 6 to make it 28-0. 4th and 3, up a pooch punt, a bad one, shanked it.
And that's the reason why I think they went for it the last time, because if you're going to punt it like that, you might as well just go for it.
Straight out of bounds at the Wolfpack.
I laugh because Mike Gladden was doing his inner Santonio Holmes acting job with keeping 2 feet in when he didn't have to. Ball was going out of bounds regardless. But hey, you need those stats, right, for your fantasy team. You got to get those return yards.
The Wolfpack begin their drive from the Meteor 41-yard line.
What's it called? A PPR, points per reception? No fantasy football course for IHSA.
You never know. They might get there that one day.
I think I would stop watching football altogether if we have fantasy football for IHSA varsity athletes. Little run off the right tackle. Little stutter step move. Malloy still on his feet.
Just went around the edge of the right side of the line. Another good chunk play.
14 good for a Wolfpack first down.
Well, De La Salle looked good to start it, but the Wolfpack are showing
Wolfpack from the Meteor 27.
why they have a good shot to be 6-0 when they play St. Viator next week. I just don't know if there's a team that can beat the Wolfpack when the Wolfpack are not fumbling the football and attacking them with this offensive line. That time, Bloss had nowhere to go. Excellent tackle by Tristan Hines.
Bloss on the carry. Brought down by 19, Tristan Hines.
No need to pass if you're St. Ignatius, but you can if you have confidence in your tight ends. Because they do run a lot of 2 tight end sets out of this triple option. Sometimes 3 tight end sets. De La Salle has a couple of timeouts left if they want to start playing the clock game.
2nd and 16 from the Meteor 33.
The Wolfpack, what they're thinking here, just make sure we maintain possession. We want the first down, obviously, but can't fumble the football. Little rollout to the right by McDonough. No one's home. Turned out to be a good pass, as originally nobody was open, but he threw him open.
Incomplete.
As he was trying to get it over to not Mateo Jones, but Aaron Stewart. That'll make it 3rd and long, and I think he just run it up the gut and punt it.
It's 3rd and 16.
Well, the last time I thought they were going to do that, Kyle, what did they do? They aired it deep downfield, so now I'm going to think they're going to try and air it deep downfield.
That was when it was 7-0. 21-0, I think you're okay just pinning them deep. But we'll see.
Field position-wise, I think you can take a chance here and throw the ball downfield.
You know, if you throw an interception, as long as it's a fly route near the sideline, it's as good as a punt.
Exactly.
One man in the backfield. Malloy fakes in motion. They fake the pitch. McDonough's got room to run. It's going to be close to the first down marker. Great blocking down the field. Delivered by Bloss.
Good for a Wolfpack first down.
And he got 4 more after the chains. Oh, man, just so tough for De La Salle. They got him to 3rd and 16.
27.
And
Jaden
McDonough
Williams
comes
on
off the
stop.
bench and runs a beautiful quarterback sneak.
And that was a design run all the way by McDonough. And he put his head down. It looked like he was going to get hit initially near the line of scrimmage, and he got away from the first hit and then just took off again. Once they get past that first level, St. Ignatius have been able to put together some big runs here today.
Yeah, they have a lot of speed once they get to the second level. Bloss again.
Bloss on the carry. Gain of 3.
You know, you almost think of this Ignatius team as a rugby team. Everybody carries, everybody gets the ball. It's just pound that rock into submission and see if the defense can stop it. And so far, we haven't seen pretty much anybody stop it except for Marmion. Tommy Bloss, more of a speed guy, but he's been taking the ball as well.
10-yard line.
Ignatius bleeding the clock, and De La Salle is fine with the clock bleeding. They know this is probably the last drive of the half. Run up the right tackle. That's not going anywhere. As that time they try to get it to Stewart.
Yeah, I think he went back to the original line of scrimmage.
Sorry, that was Malloy.
Loss of a yard. 58, Evan Smith on the stop.
McDonough's just a sophomore, but he has excellent size for the position. 6'4", 185 pounds. This young man is going to be great when they need him to
3rd and 9
start at quarterback when he's an upperclassman. Definitely within field goal range. Wolfpack had a couple of timeouts left in the game. McDonough will pass. He's got a man open. And he got it. Malloy catches it. Touchdown, Wolfpack.
Jack Malloy, touchdown.
It's 27-0. And there's a good chance we're going to interview McDonough in the post-game show. What a performance by the backup QB.
I thought that throw may be off target once it went off the release, but I credit that more on Malloy to track that one down, Kyle. That pass was at least a good 2 to 3 yards ahead of him, and he was able to stretch his arms out to bring it in.
We'll look at an instant replay if it was a push-off, but looked like a clean play. The officials agree. Kick is good. 28-0 SICP here on Sports Broadcast Solutions.
Missing your child's sporting event just plain stinks. But you don't have to worry about that anymore, thanks to Sports Broadcast Solutions. SBS is a live broadcasting network, as well as covering your on-demand needs, recruiting videos, highlight reels, and much, much more. We can broadcast live to any website, and we also post as much on-demand content as you need. For more information about SBS, check out our website at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com.
Besteri on the kick. A 4-possession lead for the Wolfpack. Coffee will take it. High arching kick. He takes it at the 10. He's got some blockers, breaks through a tackle, and he gets past the 20.
Coffee on the return.
And a good open field tackle by the no-name 29.
Blaskovich on the stop.
Oh, that's Blaskovich who took the number of Mateo Jones.
Okay, there we go. Now we know. Okay, Blaskovich is 29. Come on, guys, give me the right roster. I'm just kidding. But
I'm just say
their possession from their own 23-yard line.
One handoff, and we'll just take this into halftime if I am De La Salle.
I would too, but crazier things have happened in the game of football, and maybe you catch the secondary sleeping on a fly route.
But St. Ignatius does have a couple timeouts left, so they can force De La Salle to play this out.
At least you would force him to third down. They're going to go for it. I don't blame him. He's got a clean pocket. Rolls out of it. Looking for a man at the sideline. He's got him.
Quick pass.
Really good defense. Force a tight window again.
Incomplete.
Try to get it to Coffee. John Kemp on the defense.
Kleggs has a pretty good arm. He's been able to get some balls downfield here tonight, just hasn't been able to connect.
2nd and 10 for the Meteors from their own 22-yard line.
Thing about that incompletion is it stops the clock, but I think De La Salle's thinking, look, man, we got to find a way either we score some points or we got to get some momentum going into halftime. Taking a knee really doesn't help us here.
Plus, they will get the ball first to open the third quarter as well.
St. Ignatius took the opening drive for a touchdown.
Clegg's pass intended for Thomas, incomplete.
Another incomplete
Brings up
pass.
third down.
Now you just got to go all out. St. Ignatius gets the ball back regardless, so this is the time you take out your best play of the playbook, the one you feel the most confident with anyway, and see if you can get a first down and more.
Uga Uche on the coverage.
If you're wondering, the biggest blowout for the Wolfpack this year was 70-0 over Von Steuben. I don't think we're going to get that score today, but could easily be 42-0 or more.
Well, De La Salle was down 44-0 at halftime last week, so 28-0, a little improvement.
There you go. Baby steps. Run up the gut. Going after that ball. St. Ignatius going for blood.
Now you called a timeout, forced them to punt.
Thomas on the carry. Justin Scott on the tackle.
Justin Scott, the
Gain
big
of
boy,
5.
on the tackle. 6'5", 315 pounds from Roosevelt.
Timeout, Wolfpack.
As the Wolfpack call timeout. We'll take a timeout as well. You're watching the Wolfpack against the Meteors here on Sports Broadcast Solutions.
This is Sports Broadcast Solutions, a broadcasting network for everyone. Check us out at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com and become part of the digital sporting world.
Wolfpack will get the ball back.
4th down and 4 to go for the Meteors from their own 30-yard line.
You could consider going for it because a first down stops the clock, and then you can take a knee after that, but I don't know. I think you just got to punt and just pray that the St. Ignatius offense can't score again.
Well, they're lining up as if they're going to go for it again.
Wolfpack are ready for it. Nobody back for a punt. Just need a first down to... They're not ready for it. Cleggs has to fall on it, and the Wolfpack will get the ball back.
Loose ball recovered by Cleggs.
A huge mistake by the Meteors.
On down.
That might be on the center because Cleggs was not expecting that ball.
25-yard line.
And that stops the clock. Bastari's got a boot, but they need about 5 more yards to have a realistic shot at it. You could run the ball, but Bastari would have to run out there. Or you just got to pass it to the sideline. They're not ready to kick yet. They're inside the 30. McDonough rolls out to the right. Almost picked off. That stops the clock.
McDonough's pass intended for Bloss, incomplete.
Might have been better to just kick it in hindsight.
I think they were trying to do a hard count to potentially draw St. Ignatius offside to force the first down on that 4th down play, Kyle. And I think the hard count may have fooled the center, and he snapped it too quick for Cleggs to expect it, and that might have caused the mishandled snap on the play.
So most field goal posts are 17 yards from the original line of scrimmage. It's a 38-yarder right now. McDonough to the right. Throws it near the boundary. Caught. Only need 1 foot in, but they're going to say both feet were out of bounds. Either way, it's a good decision by McDonough because
Cronin, the intended receiver,
a completion or incompletion stops the clock.
3rd and 10 from the Meteor 21.
Do you like this decision by Coach Miller to not kick on any of those downs? You're risking it because if it's not a first down...
But they do have one timeout remaining. So that's why you can take some chances, potentially use the middle of the field, take some shots downfield because you do have that one timeout remaining if needed to get the field goal unit out on the field.
Yeah, I was thinking of kicking it early because if it's a bad snap, you can spike it and do it again.
They're going to set it up for the field goal.
Well, they got to hustle. Well, they got the one timeout.
On the keeper.
They have the timeout.
Yeah, I almost forgot about that.
Timeout, Wolfpack.
That was one of those plays. You run it. Worst case, if you get stopped, you burn the timeout, or you hope you get the break one. Maybe you miss tackle, and McDonough could be off to the races for a potential scamper and touchdown run. So well executed. They milked it down to 9 seconds here. They'll set up the field goal, try and go into halftime up 31-0.
As good as Basteri is, nothing is ever a shoo-in in high school football for kicks.
But I'm amazed in these years of doing it how much the kicking has improved in high school football. There's some really good kickers across the state.
And I think some of that has to do with the CTE and dementia problem, but also just,
Basteri.
You know, being a kicker is tough, and if you're good at it, you can play the sport for a long time.
This will be from about 37 yards out, and now De La Salle will call a timeout to freeze the kicker.
I hate it. I wish we could get rid of it in the game of football because it rarely ever works. They've done stats on this at ESPN. The chances of him missing the kick is like 5 to 10%.
What did you think about that Justin Tucker kick Sunday for Baltimore against Detroit?
Did you see the play before that the officials blew it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The play clock went to 0, and the delay of game call was clearly missed. But he's a great one, Justin Tucker.
Oh, for sure. I don't blame Tucker, but I do blame the officials for should have gotten that. But the thing is, too, on that, it's on the officials' clock, not what you see on the television.
That's correct.
So it's not always synced up directly with the TV. Meanwhile, Basteri has a chance to make it a 5-possession game.
And they're going to call their final timeout.
Timeout again by De La Salle.
The good news is, as you can see on our screen, everybody is out of timeouts now.
We'll stick with the action.
But looking at the breeze, there's not much of a breeze tonight. It is blowing in just slightly in his face, but really should not affect this kick at all.
For St. Ignatius, got to make sure the protection is there because we've seen in the game of football, block kicks are part of the game. The Browns-Ravens Monday night game ended on a block kick, and that would be almost a gift for De La Salle to get back in the game on a blocked field goal the other way for a touchdown. Protection's got to be there. Good snap. Hold in the kick.
5'11", 160-pound junior.
Good snap. Good hold. It's going to be close. Wide right.
Kick is wide right.
Didn't seem like he got all the foot of that as it was almost short of the field goal post.
Yeah, it almost is like it just got off his foot funny. Like
22-yard line.
Basically, he almost kicked it off the heel of the football, just didn't get the sweet spot. It was just fluttering right from the start.
And some fans that are watching are thinking, oh, why not just do a Hail Mary? Well, does the kick really matter there? No, it doesn't mathematically, but you want to have your kicker have some momentum and constant confidence going into your next game.
You have to, if you have a good kicker and a quality kicker, you want to give him any work anytime you can, regardless of the score, because you talked about postseason play, state championship aspirations. You don't know when you're going to need Basteri to maybe nail a big kick at the end of a close game. Give him a shot in game competition when you can.
Doesn't work that time for Basteri, and they're going shotgun formation. Look, De La Salle, they're going all out. Forget about the knee. They go with a little reverse, and they're going to lose yardage. St. Ignatius was there on the pursuit.
Flea flicker doesn't work. Toronto on the tackle.
And that'll do it for the first half. St. Ignatius 28, De La Salle Institute 0. We'll take a 10-minute halftime break. You're watching the Meteors against the Wolfpack here on SBS.
Stick around.
Sports Broadcast Solutions is a broadcasting network for everyone. For those of you who would like to broadcast or live stream your event, or maybe make a highlight tape, but would like a sponsor to fund the event, SBS has a myriad of ways to advertise your sponsor during our broadcasts. We have commercials. We have on-air reads by the announcers.
Albatross Physical Therapy and Wellness specializes in pain-free.
We have graphics, and we have watermarks. Finally, Sports Broadcast Solutions can create a commercial for you or your sponsor. Whatever your sports broadcast needs, we are at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. Check us out and become part of the digital sporting world.
4 years at St. Ignatius College Prep means 720 days of walking into a cornerstone of Chicago's history, engaging with over 1,450 students from all over the city and state, If you were to imagine those 4 years by combining all the individual moments into days lived, what can it boil down to?
Time spent riding public transportation adds up to 30 days, moving outside your comfort zone, expanding your horizons.
You'll devote a sum of 78 days to competing on the track, field, court, on the ice, or in the pool. 8 days cheering on the Wolfpack, becoming part of something larger than yourself.
37 days singing and dancing on stage, finding your passion, uncovering new ones.
Navigating international diplomacies with Model UN for 48 days.
51 days working through complex proofs and equations in the Math Resource Center.
Celebrating our Catholic Jesuit tradition for 16 days at Mass in Holy Family Church.
25 days hypothesizing and testing in labs.
Participating in community service for 17 days. Living our mission as a woman or man for and with others.
32 days spent studying in the library. Okay, and maybe a few sleeping.
95 days of homework. Learning vocabulary, developing presentations, preparing for tests, becoming a lifelong learner.
Waiting in line for a panini for 5 days.
10 days spent on the couches in formation and ministry, growing in faith and kinship.
Looking to the future with college counseling for 8 days, all the while supported through the journey.
And hopefully, 0 days in jug.
For so many, so much more, every single day spent as part of a community, a family, a network of friendships that extends far beyond 4 years. Every single day rooted in values to drive each day forward.
150 years of tradition stands at 1076 West Roosevelt Road. How will we write the next chapter in school history?
With you. We need the one and only you. A journey like no other awaits you with the Wolfpack. Each special moment, one day at a time. Come write your story at St. Ignatius College Prep. Four years at St. Ignatius College Prep means 720 days of walking into a cornerstone of Chicago's history, engaging with over 1,450 students from all over the city and state. If you were to imagine those 4 years by combining all the individual moments into days lived, what can it boil down to?
Time spent riding public transportation adds up to 30 days, moving outside your comfort zone, expanding your horizons.
You'll devote a sum of 78 days to competing on the track, field, court, on the ice, or in the pool. 8 days cheering on the Wolfpack, becoming part of something larger than yourself.
37 days singing and dancing on stage, finding your passion, uncovering new ones.
Navigating international diplomacies with Model UN for 48 days.
51 days working through complex proofs and equations in the Math Resource Center.
Celebrating our Catholic Jesuit tradition for 16 days at Mass in Holy Family Church.
25 days hypothesizing and testing in labs.
Participating in community service for 17 days. Living our mission as a woman or man for and with others.
32 days spent studying in the library. Okay, and maybe a few sleeping.
95 days of homework. Learning vocabulary, developing presentations, preparing for tests, becoming a lifelong learner.
Waiting in line for a panini for 5 days.
10 days spent on the couches in formation and ministry, growing in faith and kinship.
Looking to the future with college counseling for 8 days, all the while supported through the journey.
And hopefully, 0 days in jug.
For so many, so much more, every single day spent as part of a community, a family, a network of friendships that extends far beyond 4 years. Every single day rooted in values to drive each day forward.
150 years of tradition stands at 1076 West Roosevelt Road. How will we write the next chapter in school history?
with you. We need the one and only you. A journey like no other awaits you with the Wolfpack. Each special moment, one day at a time. Come write your story at St. Ignatius College Prep.
Sports Broadcast Solutions is a broadcasting network for everyone. At SBS, we offer a professional broadcasting experience for the non-professional athlete. Just like the pros, we offer everything for you. Play-by-play commentary.
A no-hitter at Kane County Stadium. 15 strikeouts, 1 walk, 1 error, and that's it.
Color commentary, highlight reels, recruiting videos, and much, much more. Unlike our competitors, we zoom in on the action and always have a live scoreboard with a live time code. If you're ready to have your next sporting event feel like CBS Sports, then make sure to call Sports Broadcast Solutions today. Our phone number is 330-957-7653, or you can go online to sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. SBS, a broadcasting network for everyone.
My name is Patrick Winter, and I'm the chair of the Religious Studies Department at St. Ignatius College Prep. This is the department where we take the academic discipline of theology and we engage our students in questions about God, about meaning, about purpose. You know, I think of us as kind of a worldview department. And what we do is we take the students who come in, we meet them where they are, but then we try to take them somewhere else, somewhere new. What happens in our classrooms is that it becomes kind of a dynamic exchange between the students and their own context and their own experience and the tools that we try to offer to them, and out comes something that is a mix of the religious studies curriculum that's grounded in the Catholic tradition, but also that's brought to life by their own experience and their own reflection and the questions that they have. And the students who we teach really do a wonderful job of actively engaging in that dynamic process.
Sports Broadcast Solutions is a broadcasting network for everyone. For those of you that just want raw footage of your sporting event, but no play-by-play or color commentary, you just need us to live stream video from the event over the internet. We will live stream your event on YouTube on our Sports Broadcast Solutions channel. In addition, we also have a dedicated channel on YouTube for live streaming at SBS Livestream. And if you need multiple channels, we can utilize Facebook Livestream and Instagram Live on our channel as well. Options include commercials from your sponsors, professional scoreboard graphics are still available, and of course, yes, pre- and post-game interviews are available as an option if you want.
We've been working really hard this whole...
My name is Patrick Winter, and I'm the chair of the Religious Studies Department at St. Ignatius College Prep. This is the department where we take the academic discipline of theology and we engage our students in questions about God, about meaning, about purpose. You know, I think of us as kind of a worldview department. And what we do is we take the students who come in, we meet them where they are, but then we try to take them somewhere else, somewhere new. What happens in our classrooms is that it becomes kind of a dynamic exchange between the students and their own context and their own experience and the tools that we try to offer to them, and out comes something that is a mix of the religious studies curriculum that's grounded in the Catholic tradition, but also that's brought to life by their own experience and their own reflection and the questions that they have. And the students who we teach really do a wonderful job of actively engaging in that dynamic process.
Sports Broadcast Solutions is a broadcasting network for everyone. For those of you that just want raw footage of your sporting event, but no play-by-play or color commentary, you just need us to live stream video from the event over the internet. We will live stream your event on YouTube on our Sports Broadcast Solutions channel. In addition, We also have a dedicated channel on YouTube for live streaming at SBS Livestream. And if you need multiple channels, we can utilize Facebook Livestream and Instagram Live on our channel as well. Options include commercials from your sponsors, professional scoreboard graphics are still available, and of course, yes, pre- and post-game interviews are available as an option if you want.
We've been working really hard this whole summer and stuff.
Whatever your sports broadcast needs, we are at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. Check us out and become part of the digital sporting world.
Stinks. But you don't have to worry about that anymore, thanks to Sports Broadcast Solutions. SBS is a live broadcasting network, as well as covering your on-demand needs, recruiting videos, highlight reels, and much, much more. We can broadcast live to any website, and we also post as much on-demand content as you need. For more information about SBS, check out our website at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. Sports Broadcast Solutions, a broadcasting network for everyone.
Sports Broadcast Solutions is a broadcasting network for everyone. For those of you who would like to broadcast or live stream your event, or maybe make a highlight tape, but would like a sponsor to fund the event, SBS has a myriad of ways to advertise your sponsor during our broadcasts. We have commercials. We have on-air reads by the announcers.
Albatross Physical Therapy and Wellness specializes in pain-free.
We have graphics, and we have watermarks. Finally, Sports Broadcast Solutions can create a commercial for you or your sponsor. Whatever your sports broadcast needs, we are at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. Check us out and become part of the digital sporting world. Let SBS broadcast your sporting event. We have experience and can generate excitement and permanent digital memories for your team.
Tonight. That time, finally a goal for the Stampede!
We have professional videographers using high-definition modern-day cameras, color analysts, and play-by-play announcers with state-of-the-art, classy graphical scoreboards to keep you updated. Plus, we have commercials to advertise your team, club, or sponsor, and us. Plus, we do pregame and postgame interviews.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to the postgame show brought to you by Marion Central Catholic. My name's Kyle Smith, but my name doesn't matter. These young ladies matter. It's senior night as the Hurricanes win a battle down the stretch, 48-46.
Hi, I'm Carrie Kramer. I swim 50 breast, 50 free, and 100 back.
Whatever your sports broadcast needs, we are at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. Check us out and become part of the digital sporting world.
All right, partner, it's 28-0 in favor of SICP. What adjustments does De La Salle have to make going into this third quarter?
Well, the good news for them, first of all, Kyle, is they will have the football first to start the second half. I think they just need to establish what they did in drive number one, which I thought was still their best drive of this game. They mixed the run up. They mixed the Wildcat up very effectively. Unfortunately for the Meteors, that turnover really started the domino effect of how they fell behind in this ball game. I thought for a good, maybe the first 14 minutes or so of this game into the early part of the second quarter, they did a good job controlling the pace, controlling the tempo, but that one mistake and then the two big run plays really cost them. But to get back in the game, it starts with this first possession. They're going to have to score on this opening possession, get it downfield. I don't think they need to panic and rush quickly on offense and air the ball out. They did that quite a bit toward the end of the first half, tried some shots deep downfield, but I think they need to get back to spreading it out a little bit, get back to the run game, pick up some first downs. Then when you're in position, go for the deep strike when you can.
De La Salle gets the ball going into the second half. If they score quickly, do you consider the onside kick, or do you have to trust in your defense down 28-7?
I think at this stage of the game, depending on how long the drive takes, you don't necessarily have the onside kick. However, their defense just can't give up a big play. The three big runs, we had a big run by Rugai had one.
Yeah, everybody's.
Malloy had a big run.
Petro before he got hurt.
Petro before he got hurt.
Then McDonough came off the bench.
Yeah, we saw McDonough actually get some decent carries as well. So for De La Salle, it's limiting the big play, and if they can, they need to force a turnover themselves to help set them up for a possible quick score as well. But I think it all goes down to this first drive to set the tone for them if they're going to get back in this game, or are we going to see a running clock by the end of the third quarter?
Yeah, De La Salle would love to avoid that at all costs. St. Ignatius needs 12 more points for the running clock. Do you think that missed kick by Basteri's in his head a little bit, or now he's just going to move on and just get on to the next kick if they need him late in the game for a field goal?
I think he moves on from it. Kickers usually have a good mental frame of mind and a short-term memory. I think they'll watch the film of the kick. They'll make the adjustments in practice. He's a very good kicker. We can tell that clearly from how he warmed up. My first time seeing him in person. You've seen him more than I have. He had plenty of leg on the kick. He just pushed it wide right. You know how the life of a kicker is. I think he'll be okay.
They love you when you make kicks, and even if it's really not your fault on the kick, it's always your fault, right?
Yeah, and then going back to Petro, looks like we may not see him back in this game. He has his helmet off, but the good thing is he's moving around. He's on his feet. I know we were asked on the text line about him. He does have a football in his hand there on the bench, but no helmet. So with the 28-0 lead, I don't think they're going to risk putting him back in the game. He appears to be okay. Might have just been a little slight pull to hamstring, little upper thigh area. That lateral movement was a bit of an issue. Probably didn't feel quite right. I would be surprised if we see him back in the game at all here in the second half for St. Ignatius.
Wolfpack up 28-0. They have 2 shutouts, actually 3 shutouts on the season. Looking for number 4. What a year for the Wolfpack. A team that has not won a regular postseason game. The only playoff games they've won has been the Prep Bowl. We still got a couple of weeks until week 1 of the IHSA playoffs, but man, oh man, I just don't know if there's a team that can match up well with this Wolfpack team. 28-0. Another kick, but it's a good one. And it stays inbounds. Coffee has it. And it's going to be a penalty on the field, most likely against.
Coffee.
Oh, look, we got pushing and shoving after the fact. As Diaz and possibly Opawui. And it is Opawui against Diaz as they were pushing and shoving at midfield. But it is a penalty against the Meteors. And that's what De La Salle might be doing, just getting chippy and trying to get into the heads of the Wolfpack to see if they commit a penalty.
Block in the back on De La Salle.
But when you're down 28-0, it's a foolish penalty at this point. You had decent field position. Now you're going to be backed up all the way just inside the 10.
Takes him half the distance from the spot of the foul.
And now for the Wolfpack, if you want to show your best blitzes, this would be the time.
From their own 8-yard line.
Inside the 10 are the Meteors. If you want to bring the house, if you have confidence in your safeties. In high school, sometimes you only have one safety with that rover look, but
I think if you do, I would wait maybe a down here right now. I would see what De La Salle wants to run here on first down. Just play your base defense. Defense has had a good game here so far for the most part. See what they do here on first down before you get aggressive.
They're showing blitz, and they do blitz. Pressure comes. Just barely got the handoff off.
Thomas on the carry.
And that was just some good straight inside pressure. And the defensive front just simply won the battle.
On the stop.
If you're wondering why the Meteors aren't going no huddle, it's just because they want to get some momentum going before they start doing that. They got to get some confidence.
You got to get out of the back of the end zone as well, and that's the other thing before you want to get in full attack mode offensively. You got to establish at least getting a first down to get things going on this drive, if they can.
St. Ignatius in the driver's seat, up by 4 scores. Meteors deep in their own end, possibly a false start. Nothing was called. Deflected pass. Was it behind the line of scrimmage?
Touchdown.
Officials say it was deflected.
Oh, they call it a forward pass.
Yeah, I think that was the right call. We're going to ask Liam, our videographer and rules expert, but it sure looked like the receiver was right on a line parallel with the quarterback.
That was very close. Very close.
Liam says it was a good call. And that's such a call.
Liam thought it was iffy. I thought it was a backwards pass watching it live.
3rd and 10 from the meters from their own 8-yard line.
But what created that was the inside rush by the linebackers. That just threw that play off just enough for everyone to just suddenly panic on the De La Salle side, and that play just went all out of sorts from the beginning. So you talked about the pressure. It's worked twice. You might as well bring it again here on 3rd down.
Just got to be careful. You got to have some men back in case they want to do a click slant. St. Ignatius on defense, and they're going to get him for a 2-yard gain. Coffee on the Wildcat, and he didn't even get a yard.
Brings up 4th down for the Meteors from their own 8-yard line.
We'll call it 4th and 9. They're talking it over, but most likely a punt. If you're going to go for it, it's got to be the most ridiculous trick play you've ever seen.
This will have to be some sort of a quick kick on this punt, I would imagine, just to get the ball out of there.
If you're St. Ignatius, do you go for the all-out block or do you normal punt return coverage?
I think based off of the first couple of punts we've seen tonight, I don't think you may not even need to rush the punter that much because that last punt in particular was not very good. You're going to get great field position regardless.
Yeah, most likely inside of the 40 unless we get a big boot. Alexandre Coleman will take it. Good snap, almost blocked, line drive kick, and they'll be lucky if it gets to the 35. It won't. 1st and 10 coming up for the Wolfpack, and a flag on the field. Will it be running into the kicker or roughing the kicker?
And that's the risk why I didn't want them to rush, because the kick wasn't going to go very far, and they're going to be very fortunate that this will be only called, I believe, running into the kicker, not roughing, which will not cost them the 1st down. They should just mark the 5 yards off from the end of the kick, or they can give De La Salle the option of taking the 5 yards to move up and possibly re-kick it. So we'll see what they do here.
Looks like they're going to take the 5 yards and re-kick.
They're going to decline it. They're going to decline the penalty and take the kick.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't the best snap in the world, so do you want to try it again? Maybe, maybe not.
Roughing the kicker is declined.
I think they were happy just to get rid of the football there, Kyle. That's all they had to do. Mission accomplished.
And if I'm St. Ignatius,
the Wolfpack,
I'm okay with settling for 3 because I'd love to get Besteri another shot at it to get him his confidence back. Obviously, you want 6, but I think it's okay to be a little conservative with the play calling and try to give Besteri another shot at it.
Run the ball, work the clock. Run game has been outstanding. You haven't really needed much from the passing game tonight.
Man, McDonough.
Use your strength, that offensive front.
It's hard to tell who's the better quarterback. I mean, McDonough has looked great coming off the bench tonight. Run off to Malloy, gets off the right tackle, stiff arm action, stays in bounds, and finally driven out of bounds by Coleman.
There's a flag on the play.
A little ticky-tack on the face mask, but it's the right call, and it's going to be another 15 yards for the Wolfpack.
And just a little frustration right now for De La Salle.
On the defense.
And you just add insult to injury because Malloy was clearly going to be out of bounds. It was just unnecessary penalty. And this should be they'll mark it off about half the distance. And
you know what, I can understand the frustration for De La Salle. It's not easy losing 49-0 to Fenwick, 44-14 to Brother Rice, but you got to still play your game and you still got to have trust in your teammates. You just can't play out of your game like that. One in the backfield, 3 tight ends set. Little handoff to Malloy, and he's not going to get much. We'll call it a gain of 2.
Malloy
2nd and 8.
You just keep pounding the football.
21, Hines on the stop.
This would be the time if you have a couple of players who are banged up. If you want to use your backup tailbacks, this would be the time to do it. Rugai's on the bench. He was a little injured last week against the Caravan.
It's 2nd and 9 for the Wolfpack. From the Meteor, 16-yard line.
This was a St. Ignatius team who didn't have football for over 30 years, and they're very close to going 6-0 for the first time in school history. McDonough off the bench has been great. Snap to McDonough. Hand off to Malloy. Flag on the play.
On the carry.
Initial inclination is it's a hold against St. Ignatius.
Yeah, McDonough tried to disguise that as a possible option, but the inside handoff instead, but the line judge quickly with the flag here.
Legal motion against the Wolfpack.
Illegal procedure on the Wolfpack.
Apologize, legal procedure.
Backs them up 5.
Clock is their friend, of course. Clock stopped initially on the flag. Now they'll restart with under 8:55 to go.
2nd and 13 for the Wolfpack from the Meteor 21-yard line.
If you're just joining us, Wolfpack scored 28 points in the first half, but De La Salle was hanging in there. A risky going for it on 4th and 8 inside their 50, and they
Audible.
didn't get it. McDonough fakes it to Malloy, quarterback keeper. He's got room to run, cuts it back inside, and gets close to the first down marker.
Basically the same play design, just like the last play we saw, Kyle, but the difference that time, McDonough kept the football.
Coleman on the tackle.
Be 3rd and about 3, it looks like.
I know that St. Ignatius will never do this, but
10.
if they ever wanted to utilize a 2-quarterback system just to keep the defense off guard going into the playoffs, this would be the personnel to do it, because both quarterbacks are basically the same guy. McDonough has better size, Petro more speed. That's a run up the middle.
Jake Lowe into the
Jake
line.
Lowe gets the carry. And now they're thinking 6.
Brings up 4th down in the yard.
4th and 1.
But it's also the system. You want to bring players in that will run your system as well. That's why you can bring in McDonough when Petro is a little nicked up. You want to have your backup just be interchangeable and seamless as if he is the starting quarterback. And that's how, based off his work and what he does in practice during the week, to be ready for the situation.
St. Ignatius might be just trying to draw De La Salle offside. It's a chip shot field goal where they're at. It's 4th and 1. And McDonough is indeed going to take the snaps. They get enough push. First down for Lowe and more. That's the 5-yard line.
And a Wolfpack first down.
1st and goal at the 4. And the Wolfpack fans can taste it. A 6-0 start. Could you believe it going into the season? I don't think there's going to be an empty seat next week against St. Viator.
72 Adcock on the stop. 1st and goal Wolfpack from the Meteor.
There's not many empty seats here tonight.
There was definitely not any empty seat last week against the Caravan. Run up the gut. McDonough's close to the goal line.
On the keeper.
And he's tackled just shy of the goal line by Evan Smith.
Evan Smith on the tackle.
The fans are just lined up along the fence,
A gain of 3.
along the bleachers.
2nd and goal from the 1.
Think we'll see a Walter Payton dive for the goal line, or do you want to save that play call for the playoffs?
I think McDonough.
They've gotten enough push up front, led by their center. Emmett Rhodes has done an excellent job leading the offense. McDonough, untouched. Touchdown, Wolfpack. 34-0, SICP.
I had to get one right tonight. I think that was not a surprise. He maneuvered that drive very well. Reward him. Let him finish it up with the touchdown.
You got to give credit to the guard and tackle. I mean, he could have walked in if it was 1st and 10 at the 10. That was just excellent job up front.
You take advantage of the short field and make De La Salle pay.
And look, this is most likely going to be a blowout. We'll stick with the action. 35-0, but look, this game could have been a lot different if they don't fumble at the 40-yard line.
Yeah,
you never know.
And I know you were alluding to St. Ignatius long term, and I think are comfortable enough at this point of the game that we can talk a little bit about that at this point, 35-0. you talk about maybe teams to beat. Usually when it comes down to any postseason competition, regardless of sport, especially in the IHSA, how the classes are, it's a matter of seeding and who you're paired with, because there you have those playoff points that are involved. So the 2 wins that De La Salle have actually will help the playoff points and the strength of schedule for St. Ignatius. You don't want to have too many winless teams on your resume that you beat up on because you don't have enough playoff points to help you in your seeding, regardless of your record. So seeding and positioning are always very important when it comes to playoff time.
So if you're a fan of the Wolfpack, are you kind of hoping St. Viator and Fenwick win more games because your strength of schedule looks better?
Yes, that'll give you a better seed and potentially maybe you would think a more favorable matchup. And also, as we see the kick return out ahead to the 33-yard line by Coughlin, it also will give you a better chance to get a more favorable matchup and some more games played at this field.
Mediators begin their possession.
First and 10 at the 33. The decision is probably here for the Wolfpack. A win coming up for St. Ignatius. So for De La Salle, look, play your game. If you're comfortable with no huddle, you can try it, but I just don't see you scoring 5 touchdowns and holding St. Ignatius to 0 points.
Well, at this point, you're trying to work the move ahead for next week if you're De La Salle.
It's possible, though. I know Houston Oilers fans will hate to hear this, but 35-3 against Buffalo, but that was also at halftime.
I don't see Jim Kelly and Steve Tasker walking in the door anytime
remember,
soon.
It was Frank Wright.
Yeah, Frank Wright came in for him. You're right.
Yep, Frank
Head
Wright
coach now of the Indianapolis Colts.
It's such a shame because I think Warren Moon threw for over 400 yards that day and lost.
2nd and 7.
Yeah, he had a couple heartbreakers in his postseason career. You know, that one in Buffalo, most notable. Had a couple tough losses to John Elway as well in the postseason.
What a quarterback, Warren Moon. This guy playing quarterback, he's pretty good himself. Cleggs just has an arm. Look at that one-handed catch right near us by Coffey.
Yeah, Coffey's been quite, he's had quite a night. He's been well involved in the offense this evening. Very athletic, good length. You can tell that he's a playmaker for this team, but you got to have some of the big guys up front
41-yard line
to give the quarterback enough protection to allow him to get a little bit more down the field. They've given Coffey some shots downfield. As we saw, they had him exclusively in the Wildcat to start the game.
Matthew Cleggs, sophomore quarterback, 6 foot even from St. Thomas the Apostle. If De La Salle gets past midfield, they'll probably just start going with the no huddle look. But right now, they're sticking with huddling. Shotgun formation, pressure comes. No choice but to throw it. Not a great pass, but he had no choice. If he had waited another second, he would have been sacked.
Yeah, that's just an issue. He just didn't have enough time. Tried to make a play, just get rid of the football, not take the sack, because you didn't want to have a 4th and long, because you know you only need 4 yards, so if you don't complete the pass, you know you're going to go for it on 4th down, which they are going to here on this play. So you didn't want to make it 4th and even longer, so they have a 4th and reasonable down and distance here. But now we'll see if St. Ignatius brings some more heat here defensively.
Yeah, you don't mind giving up a touchdown here since you're up 35-0, so you can bring the house.
And there came the pressure. That was excellent there by Vinny Rugai. As we have learned, he can do it defensively as well. He had 12 tackles last week in the win against Mount Carmel.
Wolfpack take over on downs. It's 1st and 10 Wolfpack from the media 41-yard line.
What kind of stuff have you seen from De La Salle from when the game was 7-0, once the Wolfpack made it 21-0 and 28-0? What kind of changes have you seen both offensively and defensively from De La Salle?
Well, De La Salle, I think, has tried to do a lot of the similar things here on offense. It's just a matter they haven't been able to get enough pass protection, and it's just their defense, I think, wearing down. They're just taking so many hits from this front line of St. Ignatius.
Look at McDonough, able to get outside the pocket with ease and speed.
McDonough on the keeper, a gain of 8. 27, Jaden Williams on the
And look,
stop.
there's no quarterback controversy here. When Petro's ready to go, he'll go back in there. But it's just so great to see for Coach Miller. If Petro goes down at all, just put McDonough in there and see what happens.
And I'm going to just say this, I could be speculating, but if this may be a bigger game, a playoff type of game,
he would be back in there.
Yes, I absolutely think he would be in the game.
Run up the middle by Rugai. Still hasn't been touched. Close to the goal line. And he fumbled. And it's going to be a touchback against the Wolfpack.
Wow.
Rugai on the run.
Rugai's frustrated. De La Salle gets a huge break. Now, I thought it went, it did go out of the end zone. It was close, though, because that ball almost rolled out of bounds before it went into the end zone.
20-yard line.
But I'm thinking there, Kyle, it appeared on that run that I think he was going to try and extend it out to the goal line, and just bringing that ball out was just enough from behind to allow the De La Salle defender to jar the ball loose and create the turnover. Sometimes I know you want to extend that ball, try and get that to the goal line, to that pylon, that corner, but ball possession is always important when you're a running back, especially when you have defenders on the pursuit, because you know they want to get the turnover.
I don't mind it so much, though, because there might be a time and place. You're down 3, you're down 7, whatever. It's 4th and goal. You have no choice but to do that play. So maybe try a situation where a touchback doesn't really bother you so much.
And you're right, when you're up big, you can afford to do it, but you just don't want that happening in a close game.
Sure, if you're up 7, no, you want ball possession, you want to go out of bounds.
31, Jamie Davis on the
But I wouldn't be surprised if they're practicing some ball possession drills in practice this week.
Yeah, it's been a problem for both teams, especially De La Salle. I like to see it, though. The Meteors could have just come out here, looked at the score. Oh, man, 27-0 to Mount Carmel. Everybody's rooting for St. Ignatius. They're in the paper. We're overwhelmed. That was not the case at all. De La Salle brought it to St. Ignatius, and they had him slightly on the ropes. Then they fumbled the football, and then St. Ignatius showed why they're a professional football team at the high school level and just ran it down their throat after that.
If you're De La Salle, you just had to play mistake-free football. You just had to basically play your margin for errors razor thin, and those mistakes just culminate, pile up, and that's why they're down.
2:15 to go. Clock stopped, so it looks like they did get the first. We've also had some clock. There we go. They restart the clock. We have had a couple of clock issues today, so they restart the clocks. But it was indeed a first down.
Gain of 4. Good for a Meteor. First down. 1st and 10 Meteor from their own 30-yard line.
Are you surprised they're not going no huddle, or do you think you just got to run your regular offense and get some confidence for next week?
Yeah, just get into a rhythm, get some good film.
First and 10 at the 30-yard line. Bad snap. Almost went to a knee on it. Clegg's with it. Slow-moving pass over the middle.
Clegg's pass.
He was trying to get it over to Richco, but couldn't get it to him.
Nick Belts on the coverage.
And Nick Belts coming off the bench on the coverage. Probably going to be seeing some more bench players for the Wolfpack. Every game that we've covered for the Wolfpack, I probably jinx them when I say this, but
2nd and 10 for the Meteors for their own 30-yard
the opposing
line.
team has scored a grand total of 0 points. If that's not domination, I don't know what is.
And that's why you talked about earlier about possibly De La Salle scoring a touchdown early in this quarter, but this defense, they want to keep that shutout and that goose egg on the scoreboard.
Run up the right tackle. 1st and 10. If you want to go no huddle, this would be the time to do it.
Thomas on the carry. Blaskovich on the stop.
Blaskovich on the tackle. Thomas on the carry.
Again, it's 17. Good.
They'll just stick with their normal offense. They'll huddle up.
10 Meteors from their own 47-yard line.
Schedule coming up for the Wolfpack. They're back here next Friday night. We'll be here too. St. Viator comes to Chicago. Then they're on the road to DePaul College Prep. That could also be another trap game.
And they got a beautiful brand new facility over at DePaul College Prep.
And then the I-290 battle to end the season. Fenwick against St. Ignatius as Coffee gets a couple of yards on the carry.
Tony Toronto on the tackle.
And Fenwick has put together a solid year so far.
Just don't ever talk to Fenwick about intentional grounding. They'll
2nd and 6.
As you know, I am familiar with the location where that happened.
Were you calling that game?
We had a basketball game going on, so I was out there after our basketball game to watch all that go down. Was quite something.
Deflected pass. Look, everybody for St. Ignatius is contributing.
Incomplete.
Blaskovich on the deflection. This is such a deep team. We're seeing the bench players come out. Everybody's contributing. It doesn't matter who gets the carry. Lowe, Petro, McDonough. And then defensively, they shut out the Meteors tonight.
And this is what you need when you bring these other young men in. You want to see what they can do, what they can contribute. And for these young men who may not be normal starters, this is valuable playing time for them to get some film on them for these coaches to help them continue to learn and progress as players.
And there's going to be certain looks as that's a screen pass out to the right to Coffee. Almost fumbled it. Gets back on his feet. Huge hit on the pursuit.
Flags to Coffee.
Blaskovich on the tackle.
Blaskovich on the cover.
There's just so much speed on this Ignatius team. You know, we talked in the pregame show with Thomas, and I asked him, one man, one tackle. We don't need to do one man, one tackle. All 11 guys can get to the player.
From the Wolfpack, 41.
And when you have that kind of speed and intensity on your defense at all times, it's just such a treasure to have. As that does it for the third quarter, it's all Wolfpack tonight, 35-0 here on Sports Broadcast Solutions.
Broadcasting network for everyone. Instead of spending hundreds or thousands with all these college recruiting sites, let us put together your college highlight reel. For just a fraction of your potential college scholarship and significantly less than these recruiting services, we got this. In addition, we put together highlight reels for teams, including high school, your club team, or travel team.
My teammate gave me a great pass, and I just took it. Other team slashed me, took the opportunity, saw where the goalie was weak, and I just shot it there.
Stolen. O'Connor and Marsh back on defense, and Marsh gets a blowout. We got a breakaway at 2-0. A shot, and it's goal! So 3-3. The power play was officially over.
Whatever your sports broadcast needs, check us out at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. Check us out and become part of the digital world.
If you're a fan of De La Salle, look, they've had a good game, but St. Ignatius is 6-0 for a reason. Final reminder, the text line is open tonight at 330-957-7653. Petro, if they needed him, can play.
Yeah, I don't think it appears to be anything severe. If you're a Wolfpack fan, I would not, fear the worst for Petro. He appears to be okay.
As the hand went forward, no fumble. Cleggs just has no chance back there. It almost has to be a roll up to the left or right every time because the three-step drop's not working with this pass protection.
Yeah, just the issue for Matthew Cleggs tonight, just hasn't had enough time to do anything. And the times that they have attempted to throw the football, he's had to get rid of it quickly. Or heave the football downfield, but we've seen the secondary, when called to duty, make some plays tonight for the Wolfpack.
They're going to go shotgun. Trips to the right, one to the left, one in the slot, so it's an empty backfield. Might go to the tight end here. St. Ignatius has the speed that De La Salle is lacking. Over to Richko. Richko breaks through a tackle and finds his way past the first down marker.
Richko complete.
Past the 31.
27, Nick Belts on the stop.
Well, this will be their deepest penetration of the night.
And 1st and 10 Meteors from the Wolfpack 30-yard line.
And then decision time for De La Salle. Do you try to get rid of the shutout if you're in field goal territory, or are you looking for 7 to have some momentum going into next week?
Oh, you got to try and score a touchdown at this point.
11:22 to go. No running clock until it's 40 plus to nothing. Shotgun formation, one in the backfield, trips to the left, and it's a delayed handoff. A lot of running room, breaks through a tackle, one man to beat, and he's going to score. Touchdown, Meteors. Great job on
Julian
the handoff,
Thomas.
on the delayed handoff draw to Julian Thomas. And the fans are booing. But look,
Touchdown, Meteors.
For the Wolfpack, you're thinking about the future and the playoffs. I can understand why you took your starters out. Yeah, you want a goose egg, but you've already got multiple shutouts this season. It's okay. Let your backups play. It just didn't work out on that drive.
And how this game has gone anyway, a lot of these possessions have eaten up a lot of the clock anyway at this point. We're down to 11 minutes to go. And but for De La Salle, that's a good possession for them.
Thomas has had a couple of good carries, including the touchdown. So our first two broadcasts had a shutout. This time
the kick is good.
With 11:06 remaining in the fourth quarter, finally the opposition scores. We'll take a quick break. You're watching the Meteors against the Wolfpack here on SBS.
Wolfpack 35, Meteors.
Missing your child's sporting event just plain stinks. But you don't have to worry about that anymore, thanks to Sports Broadcast Solutions. SBS is a live broadcasting network, as well as covering your on-demand needs, recruiting videos, highlight reels, and much, much more. We can broadcast live to any website, and we also post as much on-demand content as you need. For more information about SBS, check out our website at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. Sports Broadcast Solutions, a broadcasting network for everyone.
Right after the kickoff, there was an injury timeout. Jack Burns, defensive line, 6'3", 209-pounder from Bridgeport Catholic. But waved to the crowd saying he's all right. Onside kick most likely coming up for De La Salle. And, this is a good time for Wolfpack to work on that. Have your hands team out there and get it. I'd be pretty shocked if they did a full kickoff, but initial inclination is they're going to go with a full kick deep.
Najera on the kick for the Meteors.
Angel Najera.
Jack Malloy back deep for the Wolfpack.
The left-handed kicker and little squib kick. Going to be picked up by Tirado. He's going to play it up. Oh, almost. It is a fumble. De La Salle's on it. A lot of De La Salle bodies. Ignatius says they have it.
Return.
We'll see what the call is by the referee. And it's Ignatius' ball. And I'm sure Matt Miller is not happy about that. Look, you just got to catch that and go to the ground.
Last two times they've touched the football have been fumbles. I think I see that ball possession drill happening, Kyle, this week in practice for them.
That's the one advantage of a squib kick. People that aren't used to returning kicks, but you can always just go to the ground and give yourself up, especially up 28 points.
And that's hard, I know, for kids to do because, these young men that are out here now, they want to make a play. They want to do something to contribute. But fortunately for the Wolfpack, they were able to maintain possession.
One man in motion. That time it was Donath and a short gain on the B-gap run.
Jake Lowe on the carry, gain of 2.
Probably going to see a lot more of Jake Lowe, the backup tailback, as Malloy has done his job.
Stopped at the line by Evan Smith.
Have you seen anything that you can exploit in this Wolfpack team when the Wolfpack are on defense?
2nd and 8 from the Wolfpack 47.
One, when I think if they can play a team with offensive front that could match up with them a little bit better, they may not blitz as much, because if you do and that offensive line can hold their ground, other schools might be able to run some play action, hit some of those deep balls tonight that De La Salle was unable to do.
Ryan Donath on the carry.
Donath got the carry. He was brought out of bounds.
Evan Smith on the stop.
35-7 in favor of SICP.
3rd and 4 from the Media 49.
But if you are De La Salle, because obviously you have a favorable part of this schedule coming up, you just don't want to rest on your laurels right now. You got to keep bringing the same intensity each and every game as you want to use these games, as you've been talking about, Kyle, to prepare for the playoffs.
Look at this. McDonough on the fake handoff with a chance to go to the house, and he's brought out of bounds.
The keeper.
A touchdown-saving tackle by 21.
A gain of 40. Good for a Wolfpack first down.
Wow. You could give the game ball to anybody today, but McDonough coming into a tough situation and was excellent tonight. But honestly, you could give that game ball to the entire offensive line.
You just have to be prepared when your number is called, and McDonough has been tonight for St. Ignatius.
It's just so interesting, the stories about backup quarterbacks.
First and goal, Wolfpack from the 10-yard line.
And one of the greatest quarterbacks we ever saw play the game, Kurt Warner, started his career as a backup.
And in the AFL, working at a grocery store.
Here's an interesting stat for you. Now, we all know that Kurt Warner was the starter in NFL Europe. Do you know who his backup was?
Montgomery in the stop.
I'm trying to remember. I can't.
Jake Delhomme.
Okay. Which team was it? The Reign that he played?
Yeah, I think it was like the Frankfurt Force or something.
Yeah.
No game.
To this day.
And then he was the Iowa Barnstormers of the Arena League.
This game is an interesting game. You just got to keep fighting, and you just never know when it's going to be your shot, especially at the QB position. And you just got to take it, and McDonough has done that tonight. Handoff to the right, well read by De La Salle.
Donuts on the carry.
That time brought down by Evan Smith. 5'10", 245-pounder from Suter Montessori.
A loss of 5.
And Bestari's warming up, so they might kick it on third down to give him some confidence.
Well, they're going to have them warmed up, because if they don't score here, they'll have them kick it on fourth down at this point. They've ran so much clock. Trying to get a running clock at this point really, is a moot point.
I like it. Kicking is just, you never know when it's going to get in your head.
And he's ready. He's running out there. Basically, they just went straight up the middle, set it up middle of the field.
Goal unit is on.
They weren't really looking for a big play right there. They were just setting up like a late game situation. Get it where he would like it, middle of the field, and we'll see if he can knock this one down as we approach 7 minutes to go.
If you're just joining us, just to the right on a kick late in the first half, as Bestari looks to go 1 of 2 on field goal attempts. Good snap, good hold, right down the middle. It's like the previous kick never happened.
Bestari's kick is good from 29 yards.
29-yarder for Bestari. And so Matt Miller happy about that as he gets his young kicker some confidence going into Week 7 against St. Viator. We'll take a break. It's 38-7. Wolfpack against the Meteors here on SBS.
This is Sports Broadcast Solutions, a broadcasting network for everyone. Check us out at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com and become part of the digital sporting world. This is Sports Broadcast Solutions, a broadcast.
38-7 Wolfpack. What a game.
Just methodical.
Oh, we're good.
38-7 on the kick.
Yeah, methodically down the field.
Deep for the Meteors.
De La Salle did some things to give St. Ignatius some problems tonight. It wasn't a total walk in the park. But in the end, the Wolfpack have asserted their will here this evening.
Got to work on this kickoff coverage, though. It's another one that's gone out of bounds.
Kick heads out of bounds at the 20.
At the end of the day, now here's my opinion on it. At the end of the day, you have to trust in your kickoff coverage and just kick that ball down the middle. I get it, especially when you're playing very athletic teams that you might not be able to get into those blocking lanes to tackle in the open field, but you play these really good teams in the playoffs. That's just a killer to have 1st and 10 at the 35 for the opposition.
Well, we saw the one time they did kick. That was, I think, the one to begin the third quarter, actually, if I remember right, Kyle, that De La Salle made a little hay on that one, but they were fortunate that they had the penalty that set them back. So, they're looking just to play this field position game.
Little pass to Richko. Wolfpack are there on the pursuit. Leading the tackle that time was Nick Belts. Belts is from Queen of All Saints.
Belts on the coverage.
Were you kind of surprised De La Salle didn't do an onside kick after they made it 35-7?
No, not really at this point. I think maybe they understand where the game is at this point.
Cleggs will take the snap, one in the backfield. And actually went off the helmet as the pass attempt to the right.
Incomplete.
Went off the helmet of Boyle. He was trying to get it over to Thornton.
I mean, we saw them about those kicks. When they punted, they tried those short punts that really weren't fully effective at times. But I think when you're a coach, when you know you're down so much at some point and you just do the math in your head, possessions, the time remaining, plus with the personnel you have, they haven't been able to get that pass protection to get any really deep threat going offensively. They tried it early to their credit, but the St. Ignatius defensive front did not give Cleggs a whole lot of time to get rid of the football here this evening.
3rd and 6 at the 40. Good snap, little screen pass, and he dropped it. Just one of those nights.
Coffee incomplete.
For the Meteors, pass intended for Coffee dropped.
Parado on the coverage.
4th down coming up. I guess you go for it. You don't really care about giving up any more points.
4th and 3 for the Meteors from their own 42-yard line.
And as we saw when we were at this same stage toward the end of the first half, Kyle, when De La Salle went for it and did not convert on their own end, St. Ignatius was essentially able to run out the entire clock right before halftime.
That was really the game. It was 14-0. They went for it on 4th and 8. I still think it was the right decision because the punt game has not been good for De La Salle today. That's a run up the gut. Got an initial push, fumble.
Doesn't matter. It's 4th down anyway. They'll get the ball even if De La Salle recovered it.
Hey, it matters for confidence. You want your defense to feel good about that forced fumble.
Yes, but they did do the job and they got the stop.
On the hit.
It's all about those fantasy points. Got to get that forced fumble for St. Ignatius. St. Ignatius defense on Yahoo Sports.
Recovery. First and 10 Wolfpack from the Meteor 42-yard line.
This is when we watch the Wolfpack, every time that we've covered them, it's always been a complete team effort. There's really not one player that they have to get the ball to at all times. Everybody contributes. That's a play right up the middle. Rugai gets out to the right side, and he's going to be driven out of bounds into the red zone.
Rugai on the carry.
It's just everybody contributes. Right guard, left tackle. That's a simple play. It's a run right up the B gap, and it's 40 yards. I mean, this is complete dominance by the Wolfpack tonight.
And they've essentially have done that same play on multiple occasions tonight, and De La Salle has not been able to answer if it's been Rugai, if it's been the quarterbacks keeping it, just down the line when Molloy was in there, they just have had difficulty with that initial point of attack.
This is really the Bill Belichick concept. Every man contributes, no days off. Next man up mentality. That was literally the game tonight. Petro went down, didn't matter. McDonough came in, he was even better than Petro. Petro had a small sample size, so it's hard to compare the stats, but just everybody contributes.
From the 5.
The bench players have played most of the second half, and they only gave up 1 touchdown on defense. Everybody's getting it done.
And they'll just take as much time as they can off the clock here, not in a rush.
Fakes the handoff. McDonough up the middle.
McDonough on the keeper.
And if you're wondering why you'd have your quarterback do quarterback sneaks when you're up 31, that's their offense. So, yeah, it's an extra hit on your QB, but that's what you run in practice. You have to keep running it in the games, even when you're up 31 points.
Well, when you're down at the 5-yard line, you got to try. You have to do something. You can't go backwards. So, and as we saw, McDonough scored that one touchdown earlier in the quarter when they were down inside the 5. So, I just think this is just his territory to punch it in.
McDonough again. Look at that push up front. He got an extra 2 yards from the push, and
McDonough.
He's in.
Over the middle.
Flag on the play. An injured player for the Meteors. Everything's happening on that play. Injury for the Meteors. Flag on the play. Close to a touchdown.
Well, the call on the field is a touchdown. It's just a matter of will the penalty negate it.
Yeah, I thought his knee was down, but they're going to say touchdown, so the flag doesn't matter. It's on the defense. Now, if you're St. Ignatius, do you consider
unsportsmanlike conduct?
Like it's unsportsmanlike against the Meteors and the Wolfpack? But if you're the Wolfpack, do you consider going for 2 to work on something, or just go with your standard
No, because
PAT thing here?
You don't want to, at this stage of the game, show that you may be rubbing it in, trying to get extra points, even though you would like to work on it. I think if they would have, that would have been something for earlier in the game, not in the fourth quarter of a runaway. And now we got another late flag.
Good for best third.
Another flag. Kick is good. Running into the kicker. I think it was kind of ticky-tack, but I get it. You want to protect the kickers at all times. Some of these kickers, though, are athletes. I mean, one of the best hits I've ever seen was Pat McAfee. If you remember that game, he was playing for the Colts, and he drilled not Drew Holiday, Justin Holiday. Tristan Holiday. Tristan Holiday for the Broncos.
Penalty will be assessed on the kickoff.
I mean, some of these kickers can hit. There was a guy for Penn State, he was like 280 pounds, and he would run down the kickoffs and tackle people.
Well, the Javion Clowney one that he did that I think got his claim to fame in the Outback Bowl when he was in college. Yep.
Right through on power. Boom. Sent that kid back into second grade.
Kickers are people too, right? I still love that Goose Island did that 45-yard. Did you go to that?
No, I did not. That was the Cody Parkey.
Yeah.
They wouldn't allow kickers like me to do it.
I think you were allowed to. You could but they would do a background check of you. But
They just changed my name.
that was awesome though. They did the 45-yard.
No one beat
It was in the snow.
And if I remember correctly, nobody made the kick.
No, but it's like Liam said, they didn't allow any kickers to do it.
Through the end zone, it's a touchback.
It's hard, man. There's so much physics
from their own 20-yard
and
line.
rhythm that goes into kicking that ball. Some people tell me it's harder to kick a football than it is a soccer ball. It's tough, man.
And as we've seen, many high schools have utilized some of their soccer players to be the kicker.
Yeah, we've seen in the NFL, we see the rugby-style punts. You roll out to the right or left, 2 steps, and then kick. Should you use a second-round pick on a kicker or punter? Probably not, but it's still important, especially if you get a punter that can kick at 60 yards, or we saw Justin Tucker pretty much save the Ravens with a 66-yarder against the Lions. It's an important facet of the game. You still need it. Shotgun formation for De La Salle. They run it up the middle, and the Meteors have nothing to be ashamed of. The Wolfpack have done this to teams all season long.
They did their best to hang in here, and I think all said and done at the end of the night, Kyle, if you're St. Ignatius, you feel good about your performance tonight. I think Coach Miller will like to clean up a couple of minor things. But after the performance last week against Mount Carmel, I think they have to be pleased that their team did not have a letdown and did answer the bell. I think you had to expect some challenges from De La Salle, but the long story, the Wolfpack are going to remain undefeated.
Another fumble. It's going to be recovered by the Wolfpack.
Richco on a reception.
3:05 remaining in the game. De La Salle can still stop the clock if they want to do that, but I think they're just going to let the Wolfpack run the clock out.
If they can stop the Wolfpack from scoring with this option.
Well, you could see a situation where the Wolfpack will just take a knee at the 1-yard line instead of scoring.
25-yard line.
I think it's going to be hard to ask a young man to stop
on the recovery.
from scoring when you're this close.
It is possible. I remember the Todd Gurley Lions game at the 1-yard line. He just fell. He took a nap at the 1-yard line instead of scoring because he knew the Lions didn't have any more timeouts. It is possible, but it's tough to do. McDonough will take the snaps. And a little rollout to the left. I think what's so great about this Ignatius team is these quarterbacks are so great at hiding the ball. You have to really wait to do play-by-play commentary because if you get too antsy, McDonough or Petro are just going to keep it and roll out to the left or right.
You have, and they're both of them are very elusive with that. They just hold it just long enough to give you the impression that you think they're going to hand it off, and then they'll take off, or vice versa. They both do that part of this offense very well, which is very important on how you get the defense to rotate, maybe overplay, over-pursue.
Al Connor on the end.
Albert Connor takes the handoff that time.
Well,
3rd and a yard for the Wolfpack.
It'll be 3rd and 1 for St. Ignatius.
1 yard here, and that can pretty much sort this one away.
From the medium 16-yard line.
Well, we didn't get the running clock. We didn't get the shutout, but I think this is pretty much the performance that Coach Miller and the coaching staff wanted to see.
Yeah, you're not going to just blow everybody out, shut everybody out every game. I think overall they're going to be pleased with their performance here this evening.
It's going to be a hold against the Wolfpack as that handoff's off to Connor.
On the carry again. There's a flag on the field.
Now you got 3rd and 11. If you want to, you could try a Hail Mary look, but I mean, you're up 38 points. I don't know if you want to do that. It's a chop block against the Wolfpack.
So that's going to be a little bit more than 10, 15.
I think, though, if you're St. Ignatius, you'd like to see something out of your passing game because eventually you're going to have to use it. There's got to be a team you would think that can at least slow down this triple option, but I don't know.
Well, the one thing why it's hard to slow down, in my opinion, Kyle, is it's difficult for opposing teams to practice live against it or simulate it leading up to the week to prepare. You can see it on film. The coaches can scout it as many times as they want, but until you actually play against it for real, it's different than practice.
There's also less tackling drills, so you're tackling dummies.
Brady on the carry.
Tackling a dummy with the football is a lot different when McDonough and Petro are doing it. That handoff that time off the A-gap. Let's see. Get out to one of their bench players, to Jack Brady. Brady's from Queen of All Saints, and with 55 seconds, that just might about do it. The Wolfpack, at least for now.
It's 4th down, so they're going to have to run a play here. So if they don't convert, De La Salle will get the football back one more time, but I would think they would just hand it off and run out the clock themselves. So we're basically there.
No flea flicker Hail Mary to end the game?
No, I don't think so. I think a simple handoff, maybe a draw, if they even have a draw in their arsenal, but they may just take the delay of game as well or call a timeout. We'll see.
McDonough takes the handoff. Good job getting to the outside, but the pursuit was there as Donath
short of the first down.
Got the ball. And with 14.1 seconds remaining, De La Salle will have one more play before it becomes a St. Ignatius victory. Don't go anywhere. Post-game show.
It'll be Meteor Ball.
Brought to you by the SICP Athletics Department.
28-yard line.
Might be McDonough or possibly the entire offensive line. We'll see who we can get. But a big thank you to the coaching staff. Defensive coordinator Rich Hurley, defensive line coach Mark Tilkis, defensive back coach Jimmy Gephardt, outside linebackers Kevin Petruska, and inside linebacker coach Damian Willis. It's a complete team effort, and that includes the coaches. So congratulations, coaches. St. Ignatius scored 28 points in the first half, and the only score they gave up is when they brought the backups in, and even the backups were great. Shotgun formation, most likely a draw play. De La Salle will fall 2 and 4. Hey, why not? They're going to go for it. Pressure comes.
Sacked by the Wolfpack. It's a team sack by St. Ignatius. And De La Salle will just let the clock run out. The exclamation point on a blowout victory for the Wolfpack, 45-7 at Fornelli Field. We'll take a break. Post-game interviews coming up next here on Sports Broadcast Solutions.
Next Friday night, we welcome the Lions of St. Viator.
Sports Broadcast Solutions is a broadcasting network for everyone. At SBS, we offer a professional broadcasting experience for the non-professional athlete. Just like the pros, we offer everything for you. Play-by-play commentary.
A no-hitter at Kane County Stadium. 15 strikeouts, 1 walk, 1 error, and that's it.
Color commentary, highlight reels, recruiting videos, and much, much more. Unlike our competitors, we zoom in on the action and always have a live scoreboard with a live time code. If you're ready to have your next sporting event feel like CBS Sports, then make sure to call Sports Broadcast Solutions today. Our phone number is 330-957-7653, or you can go online to sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. SBS, a broadcasting network for everyone.
Sports Broadcast Solutions is a broadcasting network for everyone. Instead of spending hundreds or thousands with all these college recruiting sites, let us put together your college highlight reel. For just a fraction of your potential college scholarship and significantly less than these recruiting services, we got this. In addition, we put together highlight reels for teams, including high school, your club team, or travel team.
My teammate gave me a great pass, and I just took it. The other team slashed me, took the opportunity, saw where the goalie was weak, and I just shot it there.
Solon, O'Connor, and Marsh back on defense. And Marsh gets a blowout. We got a breakaway at 2-0. A shot, and a goal! So 3-3. The power play was officially over.
Whatever your sports broadcast needs, check us out at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. Check us out and become part of the digital world.
Hey guys, how's it going? I just wanted to try something new. I know we've done a lot of cool videos with should the White Sox trade for Mike Trout and what should the Bears do with Justin Fields in Week 1. And we like what Flemlo Raps does, but sometimes he doesn't do the athletes that I want to see. So I thought I would answer the question, what happened to David Garrard? And here goes.
It's never easy to play the quarterback position at the NFL level. Couple that with being abnormally large for the position and dealing with Crohn's disease, and you have the very underrated career of David Garrard. What makes Garrard's college and NFL career so interesting is nothing came easy for him. He seemed to be a tight end who was actually playing QB. Remember, he was around 240 pounds when he stepped on East Carolina University's campus, but as we later found out, there simply wasn't anything that Garrard couldn't do. The only issue was his ball placement and accuracy, but I'm getting ahead of myself. When looking at the career of Garrard, you always think of 2 words, never quit. Garrard wasn't the fastest, and he certainly looked too big to play QB. The former Jaguars quarterback sometimes reminded me of Jared Lorenzen, but when the Jacksonville Jaguars needed a big play, Garrard would give you that Cinderella moment, coming out of nowhere and then getting the job done. And although his career probably wasn't as good as Mark Brunell's, he still is one of the all-time greatest Jaguar players. The Jacksonville Jaguars YouTube account lists Garrard as number 23 all-time as a Jaguar player, and I disagree with that. He should be much higher on that list, especially since he didn't always have the most talent around him. But let's not delay any further. As Flemlo Raps would say, this is what happened to David Garrard. Garrard began playing football at around 8 years old. And to no surprise to many people watching this video, many of his coaches didn't see his future at quarterback. When Garrard attended Neal Middle School in Durham, North Carolina, his coaches instead put him at fullback. He was so big that he was basically the Mike Allstott of middle school football, as he pretty much carried the opposing defenders down the field. And according to Garrard, he didn't mind playing fullback. I was happy with the arrangement because I got the majority of the carries, said Garrard. I never even thought about playing quarterback. In fact, it was his preteen and early teenage year teammates who actually vouched for him to play quarterback. To test his ability to effectively play the position, his coaches would line up a handful of players 15 yards away from Garrard and tell him to zip the ball to them. After easily completing the passes, The coaches told him to put even more oomph on his throws, and according to Garrard's ego, he quote-unquote lit it up on his next several passes. And from that moment on, he was a future NFL quarterback. But Garrard playing the QB position still came with its set of drawbacks. Garrard entered the NFL when Donovan McNabb and Michael Vick were just getting their feet wet as a black quarterback in the NFL. And for people who weren't born in the early 2000s, it was very much a stereotype that coaches and GMs would stay away from drafting African American quarterbacks. In essence, drafting a black quarterback came with its controversies. Remember when Eagles fans booed at the Donovan McNabb draft selection? It's obviously dumb to point out a purely racism problem since Randall Cunningham, Dante Culpepper, Vic McNabb, and others all got their shot at QB, but black quarterbacks were still very much a small number in the NFL when Garrard was a rookie. But being an African-American quarterback was not the reason why teams didn't draft him. Rather, it was a variety of factors. First of all, being from a mid-major school certainly didn't help David Garrard's draft stock. Interestingly enough, Garrard actually played against Byron Leftwich during their college years. Their lone matchup was an amazing college football bowl game where Leftwich's Marshall team somehow came back down by 30 points and defeated Garrard's East Carolina squad 64-61 in double overtime. This memorable GMAC Bowl game was a preview of both quarterbacks playing together on the Jacksonville Jaguars, where Garrard would get the last laugh by taking away Leftwich's QB job. Garrard got the nickname the Beer Truck when he played at East Carolina University, and the name definitely suits him due to his enormous stature. He explains why he got that nickname.
Coach Logan, he said, you know what, you run down the field and people get out of the way like a beer truck that's out of control. And I ran with it.
Secondly, while Garrard's East Carolina Pirates were very competitive during his time in Greenville, North Carolina, they still weren't a dominant squad. This is important to know because one of the reasons why mid-major quarterbacks like Zach Wilson can rise on the draft board is because their team was undefeated for most of the season. The old adage, you are what your record says you are, can sometimes define how valuable your quarterback play is to the team's overall success. In layman's terms, Wilson's undefeated BYU squad, until their loss to Coastal Carolina, proved to some NFL draft scouts that he's the real deal at QB. Garrard, you might ask? His best season at East Carolina was 9-3, which included ECU defeating the number 13 ranked Miami Hurricanes that season. A very good record at 9-3, but it was still a far cry from Alex Smith's undefeated season when he played quarterback at the University of Utah. Regardless of the reason why Garrard fell in the draft, the Jaguars took a chance on him in the 4th round, and they were rewarded with a fairly decent quarterback. Despite being diagnosed with Crohn's disease in January of 2004, the former ECU Pirate ended up getting honored for the 2009 Pro Bowl, won a playoff game, and even finished with just over 16,000 passing yards in his career. If you're not familiar with Crohn's disease, here's the SparkNotes summary of the illness. Crohn's is an inflammatory bowel disease that causes inflammation of the person's digestive tract. This disease can lead to abdominal pain, severe diarrhea, fatigue, weight loss, and malnutrition. While not usually life-threatening, this IBD can lead to kidney stones, inflammation of the liver, and inflammation of the eyes. To sum up, it certainly isn't easy playing the hardest position of the 4 major American sports and being malnutritious, aka having Crohn's disease. Thankfully for Garrard, Crohn's was very treatable in 2004 and is even more treatable
Welcome to the postgame show, brought to you by the St. Ignatius College Prep Athletics Department. My name's Kyle Smith, but my name doesn't matter. This young man matters, Drew Stiegletter, who wins 45-7 against the De La Salle Meteors. Andrew, 45-7. Are you a little bit ticked off you didn't get the shutout or nah? You're 6-0. Let's move on to St. Viator.
I think we go because we've done better on a lot of plays. We could execute better, but a win's a win, and we look towards next week.
So we wanted to do the offensive line, but they got dinner plans, so we got you. You did a great job, but your whole offensive line, led by Rhodes at center. What does that mean to you that everybody's contributing from center to right and left tackle?
We just got 5 dogs at offensive line. Every day we're in there practice grinding, so it's really good to see us put up really good rushing yards, and so yeah.
Has anybody made the comparisons of those great Dallas Cowboys offensive line? You guys are dominating every defensive front that you've seen thus far.
No, not yet, but we still got to wait. The main goal of this is to win a state championship, so I don't really look towards comparisons until then.
St. Ignatius wins 45-7 over De La Salle. Big rivalry game coming up. It's Viator against St. Ignatius. They're coming from Arlington Heights, coming on I-90. They don't want to get blown out, but a lot of teams have. What's it going to take to keep up that intensity that we saw tonight and last week against Mount Carmel?
I just think we have to find the motivations from ourselves, like deep in. I mean, sure, like you can say we can easily win these 2 games, but we got to execute on all ends, and they want to come in here and they want to beat us on our senior night. So we really have to execute. We have to have a good week of practice, and we have to be ready to come out and hit them really hard, harder than we probably hit Carmel, just so we can set the tone going into Fenwick.
What's practice like? Is it like that Bill Belichick mentality, last man up, first minute into the locker room, last man out, next man up mentality, and also, no days off. We're thinking about state championships, not, going undefeated.
Yeah, practice, we're just always trying to get better. Every single day, offensive linemen, we're always working on our crafts. Even if it's defense day, we got our own drills. So, we're just always trying to improve our game and just execute better at all times.
6-0. What's it going to take for a victory next week against St. Viator?
Just a really good week of practice, good preparations, and just to execute a lot better than we did tonight.
What does that mean to you? You win a couple more games or finish 9-0, that you'll have some home games here at Fornelli Field for the playoffs?
It means a lot, just having the first 2 years, going to out of state, or not home, at least not having state home games. So, I was on those teams, and then it just means a lot. We haven't really had a successful football program in the past. I mean, we've been decent, but now I think we can really put this to the next level, and I'm really looking forward to playing at Fornelli and showing everyone here. I mean, look at this crowd. This crowd's great. So showing everyone here what state football really is.
Yeah, they were booing when De La Salle scored. I'm like, you guys are up 35-0, but the fans, they were smelling blood. They wanted that shutout.
I know. That's another motivation we have, the fans. I mean, they're great. They're awesome. So we gotta do them right.
Andrew, enjoy the win. Have some fun next week against St. Viator. Possibly the Wolfpack going to 7-0.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
That's Andrew Stiegletter, and that does it for our post-game show. So for our excellent crew, Liam Crotty on videography and rules interpretations, Tim McKinney on color, I'm Kyle Smith. Once again, final score, Wolfpack 45, Meteor 7, and we'll see you next Friday night. St. Viator against St. Ignatius here on Sports Broadcast Solutions.
Sports Broadcast Solutions is a broadcasting network for everyone. For those of you who would like to broadcast or live stream your event, or maybe make a highlight tape, but would like a sponsor to fund the event, SBS has a myriad of ways to advertise your sponsor during our broadcasts. We have commercials. We have on-air reads by the announcers.
Albatross Physical Therapy and Wellness specializes in pain-free.
We have graphics, and we have watermarks. Finally, Sports Broadcast Solutions can create a commercial for you or your sponsor. Whatever your sports broadcast needs, we are at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. Check us out and become part of the digital sporting world.